Well, hello there, gearheads. Woo! This is Daisy the Venice Healer. Welcome to the Blind Mike Project. I was on Who Are These Socials, but Mike wasn't there that episode. I love projects. I build homeless shelters with walls made of silk scarves. It's dupa. Anyway, we have a great morning this morning. Blind Mike and Criggers are all oiled up and ready to share their king feelings. Oops, hold on 1 second. I need to stand up and spin around for a minute. Whee! That was amazing. Okay, make sure you go to blindmike.net for all blind Mike Dupa-doos. And now your host, a man who has a sixth sense for comedy, blind Mike Gary.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that was weird.
It's a shame my eyes are getting worse because I can't read this. My passive-aggressive meter seems to be going off the charts, but I can't get a read on it.
He put our AI-generated responses to that in the intro.
He made an intro we knew that would annoy me and then made me annoyed in it.
I gotta be honest, that's kind of funny. I didn't hear that.
It's brilliant in its own. It's in a way, yeah. Brilliantly frustrating. He's one step ahead of me at every turn.
I love this. This is the aspect of Hackride that I enjoy. It's like I asked what was wrong because the intro countdown was only 10 seconds, so I thought he was mad. Like
he's protesting apparently.
That's a tell.
Craig hates. I don't know why Craig always fucks over Hackride with those intros. I like the countdown. Gives people time to get settled in. You know.
I only
people
had
are lining up. As a great man once said to me, it's like people are filtering through a doorway, and it takes them time to get through. You know.
I only had 10 seconds to play with there.
Well, I think that's because of your mockery over the years. Hackride's had enough.
I haven't said anything about those in months.
Well, the good news is Hackride is still with us. Those of you following, there was about a 90-minute window on Wednesday that he quit, I think. So he's back with us, luckily. No fault of ours, I don't think. I think he still loves us, as far as I know. But he was having some frustration with YouTube, which we'll get into. As I usually say to him, take a breather, sleep on it. And about 45 minutes later, he was fine. He's like, I'm back. Reinstated his role.
Yeah.
But yeah, go to hackridethedemon.com, for God's sake. Support the man. If you're a hack rider, which I know that you're out there, go support Hackride because he gets these are, you know how these artistic types are. You know, he gets very frustrated. He flies off the handle. He gets rambunctious with me, but he does great work for this show. If you look at the numbers, we've done basically the amount that the YouTube channel has grown. We've done, I think, as many views in the first 4 months of this year as we did all of last year, pretty much. So,
Oh yeah.
So, excuse me, those were almost my last words.
that would have been something.
Just a tribute to Hackride, and I get 7 out.
It would have been in every single piece of content he ever makes from here on out. If you died right then.
But go to hackridethedemon.com, support the man. But he was very he might have found an answer to our Tony Hinchcliffe question that I realized, because he was having problems with the Barstool video. But I'll address Tony in a second. But first, I want to tell you guys that we a shorter show today, a little shorter than usual. I have to be out at 12:30, so I've asked Craig to give me a 10-minute warning. So at about 12:20, if Craig's paying attention, you will hear this.
No,
wasn't ready.
I was getting the Tony Hinchcliffe thing ready.
Let's say it's Boogie.
There we go. I wanted an alarm form. So at 12:20, you'll hear.
I knew the dynamic.
No.
Hey, it's Boogie. Try.
Just hit it over and hit. Hey, it's Boogie over and over again at 12:20. Right?
Okay.
Hey, it's
so
Boogie.
Give me an example.
Hey, it's Boogie. Hey, it's Boogie. Hey, it's Boogie.
All right, that's when we'll know something is wrong.
I know what to do.
Hey, it's
Okay,
Boogie.
good.
Hey, it's Boogie. Hey, it's Boogie. Hey, it's Boogie. Hey, it's Boogie.
Excellent. Thank God. Now, when we're on a rant about Brendan Schaub or Piers Morgan or Rich Voss, I'll know the time is up.
Hey, it's Boogie. Hey, it's Boogie. Hey, it's Boogie. Hey, it's Boogie. Hey, it's Boogie.
All right, good. And I also want to let you guys know go to blindmike.net if you wouldn't mind. After you're done with hackridethedemon.com, stop over to blindmike.net. If you're watching right now on YouTube, I guess I have to say, make sure your gifted memberships are on, or you can accept gifted memberships. I guess that's a thing. So turn those on if someone wants to buy gifted memberships. And you can do that. You can become a member on YouTube or Patreon, whichever platform is easier. You get early access and bonus content. So check that out. We appreciate all of our members, and we appreciate the people that support the show for free. If you want to do that on YouTube or any other platform that you get podcasts, all the links are at blindmike.net. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, notification bell. All that helps the algorithm, you know? If you like us a little bit, like the show. If you like us even more, leave a comment. If you love us, subscribe. And if you don't want to miss a second, then tap the notification bell. And we have a good Why You Laughing coming out this week, I think.
One of my favorite ones, for sure.
A defense of Ari Shafir.
Yeah.
The man has been slandered in the media for too long. So I stepped up and finally offered a rebuttal. So check all of that out at blindmike.net, will you?
And is there or is there not a gearbox tonight? Everyone wants to know.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Yes. I don't know, but there might be tomorrow. So that was another... Hackride resigned from Gearbox.
Yep.
He said it wasn't just wasn't working. Which one of my, if I could give him a note, I know he doesn't like my notes, but if I could give him a note, probably a 3-hour show covering us was a little much. I always kind of imagined it would have been a half an hour or something, but it felt very long. I don't even need to know if people need to go through my back archives. I don't know if I have that much of a history. It's not Howard 100 or whatever, 101, whatever it is.
What a great question, says David Collins.
Thank you, David. What did I ask?
No, I asked, is there a gearbox tonight?
Oh, that is a great question, David. So Hackride said he's going to do it for special occasions, I think. So just keep it. So here's what you do. You go subscribe to Hackride's channel, and then you'll know when there is a gearbox. You'll never miss it.
Just pepper him about wanting more content.
Yeah. Go support the man. But yeah, I don't think there's a gearbox tonight. He said there might be one tomorrow or something, but there will be on special occasions, whatever that means.
Only someone on that show is in the chat right now could answer this question for everybody.
I'm sure he will at some point. Give him time. Why you on Hackride's ass?
I'm saying Electra's in the chat. She could tell us.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Electra.
Just pumping out the links.
Very good. Good job, everyone.
This is a great team effort today. I love it already. I feel it.
It really is. By the way, David Collins, if you're in the chat, you want to come on next week? We might have to pre-record, but
ooh,
if you're around Friday afternoon, I think
that's perfect, because I was going to say next Sunday might be a bit tough for me.
Yes, me as well. So, David Collins, if you're around, hop on in. So here's where I want to begin today, and that is with an interaction that I had, kind of, with Tony Hinchcliffe, I guess. First of all, I may have answered a question, and this makes the most sense. A commenter left this, and this actually makes the most sense. So I'm just going to, when something makes a lot of sense to me, I institute it as fact, whether it is or not. I couldn't figure out why we were getting demonetized for playing Kill Tony clips. I was like, that's very strange that he wouldn't allow other podcasts to talk about his podcast. And then an issue that Hackride had, I guess he played an old Barstool clip on an episode of Gearbox, and he got, that video got demonetized or taken down or something. And he messaged me about it, and I was like, boy, that's weird that Barstool would also do that. And then someone in the comments pointed this out, and it makes perfect sense. That it's not channels like ours that they care about. It's that people were literally posting like Kill Tony clips and episodes and getting views to their own channel. Just no commentary or anything. It was not transformative, as they say. It was just people essentially stealing Tony's content and posting it. So I imagine Barstool had something similar. So that actually makes a lot of sense that they do kind of a blanket copyright claim,
Yeah.
So that I can understand. So Tony, you've been absolved of one sin.
Let's get to the next one.
Yeah, so you're with me on this, right? Am I crazy?
This is nuts.
Here's where the eyes really fucked me here. Because I could have had a good back and forth, but I fucked up.
Oh no.
Well, you saw my comments, right?
I didn't see your reply. No.
Oh,
I'll pull it up right now.
These fucking thumbs and eyes and the whole package is just dog shit.
They're not working in sync.
They're not working in sync. Yeah, that's exactly right. So I post a clip of us talking about Kill Tony. And I said that it's weird that all the Kill Tony parts are going to be at Skankfest. Not all of them, but I saw on the list Cam Patterson, Casey Rocket, who are regulars, Tony Hinchcliffe, who's the host, obviously, Brian Redband, the producer. So I said, those guys are all going to be at Skankfest. It's weird that they're refusing to do it, because if you remember their argument last summer, Tony and Luis J. Gomez, what's so funny?
I saw your first response.
Yeah, right? It's annoying.
Sorry.
It's very annoying because I come off. It totally changes how I come off.
You talking about the last word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It totally changed. Like it misrepresents me completely.
Yeah.
So yeah, we heard the argument that Luis J. Gomez and Tony Hinchcliffe had last summer, and there was no argument about logistics of getting Kill Tony there. The argument was Tony said we're doing arenas. We're too big to do Skankfest. So I took him at his word on that. I didn't realize there were other elements apparently, and the reason I didn't realize that is because Kill Tony has done Skankfest in Vegas before. They did the first year they were in Vegas, and then they refused last year and won't do it this year. So I thought that was odd. That is, and literally his answer was, "We're an arena act now," which to me, I was like, "That's kind of shitty to the fans." There,
The Cat Williams response.
Yeah, I'm an arena act now. Which, like, when Cat says it's funny, but it is also kind of douchey,
Oh yeah.
So like that puzzled me when I heard that. So I posted the clip on Instagram and I tagged Tony Hinchcliffe in it because we were talking about him, and he responded, which I found weird. I don't like when people do like, "Oh, we're just a little show. You're paying attention to us." But the fact that he responded does suggest that he's triggered.
Not only did he respond, it was almost immediate.
Yeah, very quickly. And what did he say, Craig?
He said, "LOL, this clip is insane." It's
insane. Hold on. Like I should be institutionalized.
Yes.
Or believe me, I watched the clip. It wasn't like so good that it's insane.
Yeah.
So he's suggesting that I have like a mental disorder of some kind.
Yep.
Okay, why am I insane, Tony?
It's a huge production.
Right. That you've done there before. Sure.
We like having fun and doing sets at Skankfest just like everyone else.
Nice.
It takes a lot of crew and energy to do that show somewhere else and have it be to the level that we like it.
Yeah, you did it. I saw it. It was good.
It's definitely not pompous or crazy that we just want to have a good time and keep our show how we like it. Also, who is Kirk?
Oh, he said that?
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't see that part.
Yeah, that's the last line.
Who is Kirk? What does that mean?
Should I play the? Let me.
I mean, I know who Kirk is, but
yeah.
Oh, you know what? I said I like how Kirk does his live shows.
Yeah, like he'll do a big one and then a small one.
Yeah. Oh,
like, he went from a theater to a.
Why did that bother him?
Because it's Tony and everything bothers him.
Yeah, this is like I like Kill Tony. I like Tony Hinchcliffe. I think he's funny. And this is also, by the way, a fan of the pro. I don't know if Craig's a fan of the show or not. Are you?
Kill Tony?
Yeah.
I don't like religiously watch it, but I do find it funny.
Okay, so it's two fans, however you want to define that, two guys who enjoy the show, talking about the show, and the central message is, we wish he was doing it at an event.
I wish he would do it again.
Like, of all the shit talk, go watch Red Bar talk about Tony Hinchcliffe. Is there anything as mild as, boy, I wish he would do that at Skankfest? That seems a little pompous that he thinks he's too big for that now.
Is he just, he's just sitting on Instagram refreshing his name or something.
I guess, but I had the chance to have a real civil back and forth with him,
Mm-hmm.
and I bombed.
So Mike's response.
This is before you go into it, folks. No, I don't. This is a typo. I fucked this up, but this is, I'm sure, how Tony Hinchcliffe read it. So go ahead.
At Tony Hinchcliffe. So he saw it. You can tell.
Yeah.
I don't know if fans wanting to see your show is insane. Bum.
No. That's not what I said.
You called him a bum.
I didn't mean to.
And guess what? That was the end of the comment.
No, damn it.
And then
Yeah, so I sent that. I go like, I hit send by accident, and I go no, and then I looked for like 5 minutes. I couldn't figure out how to delete it.
I think you just swipe on it.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Boy, I never would have guessed. I could have sat there for 10 years. I never would have guessed that.
But right after that, Blind Mike Erie on Instagram again, at Tony Hinchcliffe, but with an asterisk.
Yeah, no, you're not reading it. But
If it was caps,
I didn't say.
Tony, you're not a bum, I swear to God.
But not even that. Like, not even like, oh, I hope it so changes my tone if I'm like, you bum.
It's
Like, then me calling him a bum, then I'm just an asshole on like, hey, you piece of shit. I was trying to have a civil back and forth here. I fucked it up. But go ahead. What did I say?
But the show has been there before, so I just didn't realize it was no longer possible to do.
Yeah. Now I'm hat in hand. I'm like, just, read this second one, please.
Tony read the first one and went, ha, got him.
Yeah, well, what an asshole. Rolled his eyes.
This is why I don't do it.
You bum. Yeah. So I didn't get the answer I wanted. But ultimately, my point was, I don't think it's insane to suggest that, hey, like, what does he mean? What did he say again? That it's too costly or something?
Too much. It's a huge production. So it's like they're going to have the band and like all that.
Well, there's a band there at Skankfest for the goddamn Comedy Jam.
I would say too.
Which I think includes old Kill Tony band members. Like, that could be kind of, I think Jeremiah Watkins used to be part of Kill Tony or something.
I would also say you don't need the band.
I don't listen because D Madness is there. Yeah, I know he's my blind brother, but I don't listen because of the band necessarily.
If you get like I don't know, Big J or Shane Gillis or someone up there trashing comics doing an open mic.
Where's the trumpet?
Yeah, why isn't there like why wasn't there a badunce?
Yeah,
that joke.
I think they would have been okay. So ultimately, my point was, the reason I said pompous, Tony, was that you looked down your nose at Lewis and said we're an arena act now. That's what I meant. I wasn't imagining you putting the band on your back and walking to Nevada. I didn't think that was the case. But little did I know. Silly me, I guess. But yeah, that's a squandered opportunity. I look like a goddamn fool now.
Bum.
I had his ear.
Well, name this episode.
I could have gotten my point across.
Name of this episode will either be Bum or Tony Hinchcliffe is a bum.
No. Don't do that. He's no bum. He's a man much more successful. I'm not 1/10 the success that I am, but I do still imagine that just because you're an arena act, you're allowed to play a smaller venue, I would think.
And real quick, I think everyone's dying to know any fallout to the surprise spoiling.
Oh no. I mean, she thinks she's right still. It's referenced now. She's like, this is just like when you thought you were right about the surprise thing. And I'm like, I certainly was right about that.
I had a similar thing actually happen the other day. Someone told me they were retiring.
Mm-hmm.
And I told somebody else, and I didn't realize it was a surprise. And I went, that is on you for not telling me. So
a surprise?
Yeah, it was like they were gonna. It was a long story short. There was like a lot of stuff going on, and someone's retiring due
Jerry
to
Callahan.
No, he's gonna go till he dies.
Okay.
That's just what's gonna happen. And I was like, oh yeah, she's retiring. And there was like a whole dinner planned to explain that to somebody. And I didn't know that. And
Neat. Well.
but I'm just like, yeah, I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's entirely the fault of the person that didn't tell you.
Yeah.
But, Tony, if you want to have a debate, I apologize. I come hat in hand. I lost any ground to stand on.
I'm so sorry.
I had the upper hand, too.
I know.
Because it was such an an angry comment by him that I had it right in my palm. And I clumsily dropped it. But we soldier on,
Right.
Shall we get into big Dabbleverse news?
Yeah, definitely.
This is cool. We don't get a chance to talk about Rich Voss too often, the legend. But this was fun. So I actually I chose not to talk about this last week because I heard Carl talk about it earlier in the week. By the time we got to it, it was old news. So I was like, yeah, we don't need to update people on the Stuttering John Rich Voss beef. But it's been taken to a level now that I just like it. It's fun, It's fun to look into because you realize how big this Dabbleverse is expanding. I'm hat in hand yet again for the second time on this program. I say again, I was wrong in October, November, whenever I retired from talking about Stuttering John. I said this, this horse is on its last leg. The ship is sputtering out.
I believed you the whole time.
Well, I was wrong. Hard to believe. But, for some reason, the fascination around this man only grows. Does it get tired at times? Absolutely. Does it get exhausting when John just repeats himself and every day it's like Shuley this and Barbara Levy that and Kevin Brennan this? It can. Yes. Yeah. Lady K is gay, John. We got it. We understand.
We all know that.
We all, believe me. How do you think I got on WATS? We all know.
Oh, speaking of, by the way, real quick,
What?
I finally heard him talking about the Tom Myers interview, and boy, were you right.
Yeah, I think he thinks that I am ruining the joke or something. But my thing with Tom Myers is the guy's only ever been shit on the internet.
Right.
Nick Mullen mentioned him out of nowhere and was just like, listen to this fucking idiot. And for years, people were like, can you believe how terrible this guy is? Is it crazy that for an hour, and by the way, I did call him the worst comedian in the world in that interview.
Sure did.
But is it crazy that for an hour we were like, hey, Tom, I'll talk to you like a human being. Someone will communicate with you and let you speak like you're a fucking person. I don't think it's that crazy.
Nah, it's not crazy at all.
But yeah, it did, like I said, I was dead wrong because there's something about this Stuttering John guy that just keeps drawing people back. And every once in a while, there's a new thing, and that's what Rich Voss hit on. So he mentioned this on Jim and Sam the other day, and we learned very quickly that Rich Voss isn't the only person in that room interested in the Dabbleverse.
Do you feel? Do you see the drama on Twitter I created with all these podcast people?
What'd you do?
No,
I love it.
Okay,
Already, I love it. Yeah.
I never go on Twitter. Who does anymore? Basically, once they took the blue checks away, you just go on Instagram.
Nice.
So I saw a tweet where it said, oh, fuck. Why can't I think of his name? Okay. Who's the guy that Florentina? Oh, I can't.
Don Jameson.
No, a comic.
Sorry.
Chaz, whatever. I can't think.
Chad. Chad Zumock. Chad Zumock.
Yeah. Okay,
Chad Zumock. I did hear about that. Oh, I forgot.
Sam loves it.
I didn't hear that.
Hold on real quick. Sam, for whatever reason, I always thought when he became a host, he was going to be a major shit stir because that's what he was great at when he was an intern and a producer for Opie and Anthony. And for whatever reason, he's chosen not to do that. It seems like he doesn't like that. I don't know why. Maybe he's just gotten older. Or he's a family man now. I don't know. But he's drifted away from that a little. But in that response, you hear he's still got that in him. He loves, as much as he tries to get away from his roots, he loves being a gossipy little shit.
He got so excited at the name Chad Zuma.
Yes. because like Norton isn't really like I think Norton's done Carl's show, but he's not like invested in it in that way. Sam, I think, genuinely is. Like, I think Sam is probably on Reddit a fair amount.
Him and Big J text about it, I bet.
It dawned on me, like, Big J and Sam could have a Dabbleverse show.
That'd be awesome.
Or they could be on Point Dabble Point every week. That's what's bizarre. Like, Sam and Jay should just start their own Stuttering John show together.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited. Yeah.
I didn't hear this.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you entered the Dabbleverse.
Yeah. What's the Dabbleverse exactly?
Rich Voss is in the Dabbleverse. Mike, how happy are you?
So wait.
The Dabbleverse.
And I've heard the
I
term.
hear the name Chad Zumach and I get very excited.
So
There's like an underground, we can't talk to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, we can't go out in the world. Like, today I'm going to meet up with friends. And I can't say the name Chad Zumach without just getting blank stares back. You know?
Yep.
It's a select group of people, but there are numbers out there. The people exist out there. So when you find someone that you can be like, hey, did you hear about fucking Kevin Brennan going off the rails? There's an excitement in the air, you know, where it's like, oh, someone that gets this obsession I have, that it feels like I can't relate to so many people with it. But when you find someone like that, it's a bond that's forged for life, I think, you know?
Yeah. But here's Sam's description of the Dabbleverse.
Okay, good.
Excited.
So the Dabbleverse is remember Stuttering John?
Sure. Oh,
Howard Stern
Yes.
show.
Yeah.
So Stuttering John has created. There's a universe that is centered all around
People that hate him.
Stuttering John and making fun of Stuttering
so
John
happy.
and like monitoring his show and watching it all the time. And it's called the Dabbleverse. And there's a group of people that like it's like the Bravo-verse. Like they follow the Dabbleverse, like it's their Real Housewives or whatever. Like it goes so deep.
Why don't they like John?
There's new stuff every day. Like they make videos of him blowing snot out of his nose and stuff. But some people do like John. I mean, there's some people that are pro.
Well,
It's a perfect description, by the way.
It's actually at first, like comparing it to Bravo, it didn't hit me right. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? That is the best way to describe it. Because we get comments sometimes. It's like, oh, you're just grown men shitting on another grown man. It's like it's our version of reality TV. These are public
I was
figures.
gonna say,
We're
it's
not
a
looking through. We're not looking through John's window and being like, he drooled.
It's one of those train wreck shows.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. It's our version of a reality show. I have no interest in Love is Blind or Love on the Spectrum or any of those shows. They don't grab me the same way, but I understand why they do grab people. It's like I said about Surviving Barstool, where I thought I wasn't a reality fan, but like when I was invested in the characters, I was like, oh, this is very interesting and very well done.
May I suggest you watch Prison Brides? It's unbelievable.
Well, see, Craig has his. Craig's one of the gals that gets into it that way. But yeah, that's a great description by Sam, where it is our reality show, and for whatever reason, as much like I just said, I know it's toxic and it's bad for me, like cigarettes or sugar.
Yep.
But I can't stop. I can tell myself on New Year's, hey, I'm going Stuttering John free this year. But undoubtedly by February, if not sooner, I'm hooked again, baby. You know?
I still predicted that you guys will do a show together.
Me and John?
Yeah.
I don't think so at this point. But here's the only way I could have done it is if I was a secret agent or something, a double agent.
Actually, let me read. There's a few super chats here. Let me just read them because one is in relation to what I just said.
Okay.
So the first one was Dominic, $2 before we even started. Just said, good to see Craig Fed posting already this morning.
Yeah, I always like when Craig is he's got his finger on the pulse of what we're talking about today.
I'm a man of many hats.
I suppose that's true.
Political shows and all that.
Yeah. Well, the audience is just happy when you were wearing a hat of any kind.
That's right. I got one on right now. This isn't a super chat, but I start it because it is important. We were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Electra says, Gearbox is no more, not tomorrow, not today.
Oh, no, never? Hackride told me maybe once in a while, but who knows? You can convince that guy. He's a big softy. He'll be back.
Honestly, by tomorrow he might be like, I'm going to do this every day. So like,
Every day, yeah.
uh,
he does a Quincy review on Tuesdays, and
that would actually be awesome.
Yeah.
Carl's Frosted Tips, $2. Mike, Stuttering John called you out on X. Are you going to take that?
he did.
I'm going to look into that right now. Well,
Yeah.
I thought you might have known what that was. That's why.
No. So, yeah, see if that's true. Someone send it if you can, so we
Someone
can.
send it to me on Twitter or something if I can't
Yeah.
find it.
If that's true, I don't know what he could be talking about.
Like, oh, you can't see or something.
Yeah, we haven't talked about him in a couple weeks, right? What? Although he's always 3 weeks behind, so who knows?
True. Let's finish out Sam's description here.
Oh yeah. Oh, here's the one area I'll push back on Sam.
Mhm.
Sam kind of tried to be political because I don't think he wants that Stuttering John smoke, you
I
know?
don't think so.
Because he immediately was like, "Oh, but some people like John." I mean, Sam, maybe you're right, and I'm just on the wrong websites, but I can't find them. The closest you'll find is people not that like John, but hate Shuley or Carl or something.
Right.
But I've yet to find anyone that like. No, actually, I think John is a really astute political mind. I think he's talented.
So I'm a day. I want a day back, and I don't see it. So I think this might have just been getting us to do exactly what we're doing right now. It's like where? Where is it?
You got us.
Nailed me.
But some people do like John. I mean, there's some people that are pro John. There's some people that are anti John.
Yeah, I love John. So they
Careful.
Yeah, 50-50.
I probably love half the people I hate him too.
Yeah, Norton realized like, oh, he's probably talking about Anthony and Carl. Like, I like these guys too.
Now they're gonna get into what happened here.
Okay, yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know, like I realize most of you guys watching right now probably briefed on this, but for anyone that doesn't know, Voss is going to explain exactly what happened because I thought maybe we were missing something. There's an exchange on Twitter between Zumock, John, and Voss, and I thought we had to be missing something because why would Voss jump in here? But he puts it all into perspective for us.
Chad Zumock says, I'm doing this show. Stut Joe says, come on my show to promote it. Chad Zumock says, when? Rich Voss just out of nowhere just pops out of a bush and replies, I thought you two were enemies. I can't keep up with the middle drama. Just calling them both middles.
So then John goes.
Hold on. Hold on. A couple things there. First of all, you can tell how deep Sam is that he refers to him as Stut Joe.
I know.
That's not from Stern, The Tonight Show. I've never heard him called that outside of this world. You can tell Sam is in.
Is that how he is that what he calls himself on Twitter? Nope. No, it's not.
No. That's a Dabbleverse thing, baby.
He's in.
Yeah, Sam is very in. Yeah, as he says, Rich Voss from the top rope, as the kids say. Coming out of nowhere. But if you know Voss, I've listened to Voss for many, many years. And that is a standard, like, if Patrice and Louis C.K. were on Opie and Anthony, Voss would walk in and say, I'm giving you guys relief from these middlers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've heard him say that to fucking Colin Quinn and Norton. Like, that's a very common Vossism. And you know who understands that is not just people that listen to Opie and Anthony, but also comedians, typically. And even say what you want about Chad Zumock. You can criticize Chad for a lot of things. Even Chad understood, like, oh, that's Voss being funny.
Right.
But someone, I don't want to spoil it, someone doesn't take it with the grace that I just laid out.
So then John goes nuts, right? He's like, you fuck you. And he's like, he's putting up pictures of where he had. I didn't even know it was a
Look
comic.
at that. Okay, so Stuttering John.
Well, that to me is wild. And I believe Voss fully. But it's crazy to me, like, John pontificates about all the respect that he has in this business. And for whatever reason, he always says this. He says the following. He says, oh, you don't think I'm a headliner? How about you ask the laugh factories around the country? The Funny Bones. He specifically refers to those two clubs, which I don't know how many laugh factories there are. I only know of the one in L.A., but maybe there's a bunch. But he's like, why did I headline all the Funny Bones around the country? Which is a hilarious, like, That's almost what Voss would use to slam him.
Right.
Go back to playing the funny bone. But it's the same response John has time and time again. Like, well, why you don't think I'm a headliner? Why do I play all these clubs? Voss has been doing comedy for, I don't know, 35, almost 40 years, I think. He knows everybody. He goes on every fucking podcast. Voss knows everyone in comedy. He headlines around the country. He's had probably close to 10 million openers.
So
and he had no idea that Stuttering John did stand-up comedy.
So if Stuttering John is always like, I headlined all the Laugh Factories, how many would you think there are?
Well, that's the thing is, I always thought there was 2, both in California. But yeah, good question. He says, I headline all the Laugh Factories. I would think minimum 35.
So the Laugh Factory locations are Chicago, Long Beach, San Diego, Las Vegas, and Reno.
Okay, I mean, it's 3 more than I thought.
That's true. He makes it sound like they're nationwide.
The Laugh Factories around the country. You know what? I've headlined the Wilburs around the country. I've been to a theater, and it was a pretty big one. Fucking John, the Laugh Factories around the. That's funny. I never thought to look at. I just thought he kept saying it. There has to be way more than I realize. And sure enough, there's 5. That's like, I mean, again, like getting past in the Comedy Cellar is awesome. That's a big moment for a comic. But if you say I headline the Comedy Cellars around the country, you would think there's more than 2. But sure enough, there are only 2. By the way, I don't think John could perform at the Comedy Cellar. I don't believe he's past there. Maybe I'm wrong.
I headlined all the Improv's Laugh Factories.
Oh, he did it. Oh, hold on. I shit you not. Maybe subconsciously I ingested it because I did timestamp these clips. I forgot he actually said that on Twitter. I just knew that's what he always does. I apologize, John. I forgot about the Improvs.
That's true. There's more of those.
Yeah, okay, good. The Improvs I did forget. Maybe I mixed up that with Funny Bones. Go back a little bit.
Okay, so Stuttering John responds, middle, I headlined all the Improv's Laugh Factories and Punchline.
On Tuesdays. He called me a hack. I'm anything but a hack.
I love like the idea of like you call somebody a middle and they come back at you with facts. Here are places that I have headlined. You are wrong.
So then,
but he gets offended.
Oh, you think I'm a middler? Why don't you ask Magoobies about that, Rich?
Just listen to how excited Sam is.
Because Sam's never had an excuse to talk about this on the that's the interesting thing. I don't know why Sam doesn't just do more of it because you can tell how much he likes it, but he needed an excuse, and Rich Voss presented him with that excuse. Maybe it's something Sam doesn't want to do every day, but when someone walks in and says the name Stuttering John, Sam lights up. He's very excited. But yeah, I apologize. Funny Bones just sounded funnier.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why it got stuck in my mind. Yes, improv. He goes, you know what? Look up how many improvs there are.
On it. I don't know if those are all uniform though.
Well, he's claiming it is. He makes it seem like he has a contract with the Improv United States.
Because I know there's like an improv in Boston, but is that the one?
I don't think so. I don't think that's.
You're used to. I'm saying
that's. Yeah, you're right. I don't think that's in the same chain that we're thinking of.
Right, because there's improvs and then there's Improv Boston, there's Improv Broadway. Shout out to that terrible show. How many improv?
Maybe he played all of them.
We'll find out. Okay, I got locations. I'll finish this clip and I'll get a number.
Okay.
It's offended. You know, that's why they call it the Dabbleverse.
Holy fuck.
Because somebody accused him of dabbling in stand-up and he got offended. They go, you dabble in stand-up. And he goes, dabble? I've been headlining. I don't dabble. I'm a stand-up.
Instead of just realizing that this is the way Voss teases every comic.
Yeah.
Voss is like this. If I tweeted something, Voss would have said, I don't get involved with middle drama. He would have said that to me. He would have said that to any comic he knows.
So
that's the crazy part that John doesn't understand is like that's how comedians bust balls. And when Artie, I mean, the classic example is when Artie would have John on his show and made him choose between Jay Leno and Larry the Cable Guy. Artie was doing like classic ball busting the way they would on the Howard Stern show. And John replies, "Why don't you drink bleach and kill yourself, Artie?" It's like, Jesus, why are we there?
So there was 36 locations. It's now 25.
Okay, so let's go to 30. Let's go with 36. John has played 41 clubs around the country. That's pretty good.
Not terrible,
That's almost one in every state.
but they're mostly all in like 4 or 5.
Oh, damn. All right.
I'm pretty sure
Well, I
the
tried, Johnny.
Laugh Factories are all in like the Southwest.
But I mean, how telling is that? The Voss, a guy that's been around, whatever you think of him, but a guy that's been around that long in comedy, that is in, like, the joke has become to call him a legend, ironically, but like, he is a comedy fixture. He's been around forever. He's a staple of New York comedy.
Right.
And the idea that Voss had he's like, I didn't know the fucking guy did comedy. Voss was upgrading him in his mind.
Right.
In his mind, John didn't do comedy, and he was lumping him in with like feature acts.
But next we have Classic Voss.
Okay.
Chad had no problem. He knew that because he's sitting back on what the fuck. So then this stuttering guy.
Who gets mad at Rich Voss for calling them a middle? That's what Voss does.
Stuttering John.
Yeah. Oh, I said, get me coffee. Most MCs on the road, when I'm leaving at the end, I go, "Do you have my number?" They go, "No," and I go, "Good," and walk away.
I mean, that's the Voss we got. That's what I tried to explain to Alba when we met him at Skankfest. I would like getting insulted by Voss is in a way getting insulted by Rickles. Like, it's what you want from that interaction, you know?
Yeah.
But like when we went to Skankfest, my girlfriend was not familiar with him. We saw Voss and Bonnie do a show, and we walked out, and she was like, "Boy, that was really funny." And Voss and Bonnie were on the street, and she's like, "Oh, I want to tell them how good that show was." And she walks up to Rich Voss, and she goes, "Hey, like I didn't know much of your stand-up before, but that was amazing. You guys are so funny, blah, blah, blah." And he turns to her and goes, "What do you need?" Like annoyed with her. And I was laughing my ass off, but she was like, "What an asshole." I was like, "No, you got to understand. Like, that is classic Voss."
I would much rather that than him to say thank you.
"Oh, thank you so much," and shake your hand. No, you don't want that.
No, I
What do you need?
Be disgusted with me, please.
Yeah. Ugh.
Ugh. Get out of
But
here.
that's where John like isn't a comic, because he doesn't relate to these guys in that way. He doesn't understand that kind of ball busting. And what's interesting is you'll hear if Carl or Shuley, God forbid, was talking to Rich Voss. Oh, let us clutch our chest and thank God it didn't happen this way. If Shuley said to Rich Voss, like, "What kind of a comic doesn't understand that you're joking?" John would do 45 minutes. "Really, Shuley? Really? What kind of how about someone that's headlined improvs around the country?" But he knows, like, he's not going to fuck with Norton, because Norton's of a certain level, and that's one of the few guys John hasn't burned a bridge with. So he won't do 45 minutes on Norton. Now, I want to say, if I'm calling the hypocrisy police, I might dial them and say, "Hey, Jim Norton criticized you, John. Are you going to go off on him the way you go off on everyone else?"
You gonna talk to him or what?
Yeah, because even Norton is mystified. Like, who would see Voss say that on Twitter and be like, "Oh, really, Rich?" Who would like answer him seriously? "I've played 5 Laugh Factories."
Now, as we found out with a lot of the Dabbleverse, thin-skinned.
Yeah. John accuses a lot of people of being very thin-skinned, which is interesting, because the consensus seems to be time and time again. And here's what I tried to get across when we were talking about the Legion of Skanks. Remember when they talked about Stuttering John? Because Stuttering John messaged Lewis demanding a Venmo transfer.
Very funny.
But the Legion of Skanks guys talked about him and were like, should we have Stuttering John on? And unanimously were like, nah, what would we even talk to him about? He's obsessed with Carl and Shuley and these guys. Like, he has a one-track mind, and he would come on demanding to talk about that. And, like, Jay would be interested. But even Jay, I think, would want to talk about it for 20 minutes and then go on to other things.
Yep.
They don't look at John, and I think rightfully so, as someone who can talk about anything else. Like, you'd be interested to talk to him about this stuff. And this is where John goes off on my guy, Carl, and Shuley and these people. I heard John saying this week, he's like, Carl, I dare you to do a show alone once. Even try it once. And there were like a couple months where Carl was doing an emergency show on every Monday for like weeks, I think, but all by himself. I mean, like, he would read super chats from time to time, but like, he was broadcasting. So does John. Like, he was broadcasting alone. So like, John pretends not to know these things, and he's like, you could never broadcast alone. Like, he thinks he's superior to them, but John can't broadcast alone. What he can do is sit in front of a camera and go, Shuley's numbers are down. Fucking Kevin needs me on his show. He's crumbling without me. Silent Mike is an asshole. He just says these things over and over again. It's not something any other show, like, outside of this world would have any interest in talking to him about. So, John, again, I'll say, listen to that Legion of Skanks clip. Listen to this clip. This is what your peers, quote unquote, or who you view as your peers, this is what they think of you. Voss didn't know you were a fucking comic, and Norton thinks you're delusional. That's what people think of you out there because of what you've spun yourself into. When John left the Tonight Show, I don't think that would have been the case. Right. You know, could we have found ways to make fun of him? Absolutely. But like, would the average comic be like, oh, hey, Stuttering John from the Howard Stern Show. What's up, man? They'd have him on their podcast. It'd be fun to reminisce about the old days, talk about what he's up to now. That would easily happen 10 years ago. But John has both dranken and angered himself into this, like, he's not a human, he's a cartoon character that people have no interaction in dealing with. The only people that want to interact with John are people that throw him $2 in super chats and go, hey, your fucking son's got a dick. And he has to read it and get angry about it.
What?
Like, those are the people who enjoy interacting with John. Other than that, no one would ever want to engage with this person.
It's very funny that the guy who gets pissed off about saying that about his kid also said,
you fucking cocksucker, bone-smoking, faggot, homo piece of shit.
I mean, just the other day, I heard him again. This is we're like a year into John's return almost. And I shit you not, 3 days ago, I heard him saying, I think Carl's wife is a beard. The beard on his face is not his only wife. I think he's gay. It's like, really? We're still doing this, John? Okay, John, he's gay. What's next? Is that bad? Like, where do we go from there? Let's say he's gay. Who gives a fuck? John, the amount of allegations against John that people have made, and his retort is that someone would rather lay with a man than a woman.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, John, people say you're a deadbeat dad, that you're lazy, that you don't pay child support. And your comeback is, well, I think you prefer cocks to vagina.
You sit on wieners.
Very, very mature, John.
But yeah, thin-skinned.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So I wonder who's thin-skinned in this situation.
Don't be a comic if you're that thin-skinned. What the fuck? I'm sick of, and Bonnie and I talk about it all the time. They're all a bunch of fucking babies.
Right.
What the fuck? Go work at Apple.
Right. So he's got multiple responses to this.
So multiple. He's putting up there. Then in 2001, 9/11.
Oh,
This is great. Hold on, Craig. Have you heard this yet?
No.
You might be wondering, why is 9/11 being invoked?
Oh my God, are we getting a swordfish drop?
Sure. I mean, sure, we never forget. But how could that possibly work its way into this discussion? This is how petty a man John is. Listen to this story. So just keep in mind all the facts here. Voss and John. Sorry. Well, hold on a second. Voss and John are Voss and God damn it, I'm an asshole. This is Tony Hinchcliffe all over again. John and Zumach are going back and forth on Twitter.
Bum.
John says, or Voss says, "Hey, you guys are middle acts." Then John goes on his show and talks about this.
2001, 9/11.
Oh yeah, I remember.
He was doing. He was doing some fundraiser, but I think they were getting paid at like Trump Plaza or one of, and it was him, I think Florentine and Modi.
Good for them.
So he threw me on it last minute. Or do you want to do it? So I canceled that week. I had a gig that was or wasn't going to do it because of 9/11, or I just got more money.
Let's be honest. That's probably
or you just didn't want to make it feel worse.
Yes.
Yeah, they already suffered through.
Yeah, there's only one disaster. We don't need a larger one.
Right, we can't have another attack on our
because you might know this other podcast. So I canceled. He's bringing it up from 2001, and Voss,
like now, like 23 years later.
Yes,
that's great.
He brought it up on his podcast.
That's great.
So, if you didn't fully grasp that, if you're thinking that can't be what I think it is, let me explain. Voss called John a middle act. Oh, the greatest insult anyone could imagine. Again, people go on every day and call John a deadbeat dad, and I've heard people call him a fucking rapist. And yet, a middle act is the worst thing John has ever been called. And John goes, "Oh yeah? Well, you canceled a gig in 2001. Which, by the way, who gives a fuck?
How do you remember that?
Yeah, how do you remember? But also, like, do you think that the nation would have been like, guys, good news. 9/11 Commission, who needs it? Rich Voss is back on stage. This Bin Laden guy, don't even look into him. Because laughter is back in America. Why? Like, this is what John does is he can't remember anything. It's like, hey, John, remember yesterday when you challenged Blind Mike to an IQ test? You said you had a 165 IQ and you said you were going to set it up and then he accepted and you're not doing it. Remember? I don't remember that. Oh, that's weird. Remember all these things that you claim and then people call you out on and you just don't do? No, I don't remember that. What I do remember is 2001. The worst atrocity that's ever hit this nation is Rich Voss canceling on me. John's 9/11, as we all know, when he was on air, as we broke down with the great Drew Lane, when he was on air, what he cared about that day was swordfish.
Right.
Days later is when the real tragedy struck. When Voss said, on a show that was already sold and had headliners on, like Florentine and Modi were already there, and the real atrocity was when Voss was like, hey guys, I can't make this one. Sorry. Doing a gig down the street instead. Oh God.
Reverend Shitstain, Powerful Pooper, $2.
I know him.
Thin-skinned, thick-skulled, Skull.
Skull.
We got Murchison's Mouse, $5.
Hello, buddy.
Gearbox, forever. Long live Hackride. Love Blind Mike Project. Thanks for all the content, gang.
Thank you, buddy. Yes, Gearbox will always exist in our minds and our spirits.
Yeah. I think if we just promote that's happening tonight, we'll force him to have to do it.
Yeah, Gearbox tonight at 9, guys.
Gearbox tonight at 9.
Just try you don't Hackride, don't do anything you don't want to do. Believe me. And you don't have to do it this week if you want. I'd say try it like half an hour and just talk about the show. People might be into that.
Yep.
Again, I don't think this is a show that really needs. Like, I don't think our audience is big enough to warrant an after show, really. But like, I'd try it in smaller doses, maybe, and people might be more receptive.
As you see on the screen right now, it says Gearbox every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
There you go.
There we go. Paul Penix, I don't know how you pronounce that. $5. Craig, do chicks dig Lego or Play-Doh more? What say you? Hashtag Craighead.
Well,
is that a
what say
reference?
you?
I'm gonna go with Legos, probably. No, that'd be boys, right?
But you would know.
Because I'm straight as hell, dude. I play with Legos.
Well, because you're a pervert.
No. That's not true.
All right. Well, what do we got?
WATP.
Oh yeah. So this is now WATP covered Voss and Bonnie years ago, and then I think did them again recently.
Yes, actually, like within
right?
the last month or two, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if Voss liked it at the time, but now he doesn't mind Carl so much because of there were a recent review that Carl did.
I go, I am not coming on. I'm just not getting involved in this drama. I made one tweet, and I even tweeted to John, hey, I was joking, loosen up. Then he writes back to me, LOL, I just saw this. Right?
Oh, that was the greatest, by the way. The greatest is, so Voss tweets, like, hey, you guys are middle acts. John goes on his show. It just happened to be timed where, like, John was about to do a show. He goes off on Voss and says what a hack he is, and then tells that 9/11 story, how Voss, the nation had to heal after what Voss did to New York on 9/11. And he like just rips him to shit. And then he goes on Twitter and sees that response from Voss where he's like, hey man, I'm fucking around. And then you get embarrassed John where he's like, oh, I didn't realize that. I'm sorry. After he just called you a piece of shit. That's like how quick, like anyone that John says he loves, just know you're an insult away. Even if I truly believe his kids that he loves so much, if his kids went online today and were like, hey, I don't think my dad's a real comic, he'd be like, well, you're not a real girl. So there. Or a real boy, whatever he is. I don't know.
That's exactly the point.
Yeah. But John would turn on anyway. If you say he's not a real comic or his podcast sucks, he'll turn on you immediately. And I don't just mean like have fun, like insult you on his show there will be a lifelong vendetta unless you kiss the ring.
Right.
To me, LOL, I just saw this. Right after he went on his podcast and Now there's these other guys that do a podcast, and I'm sure they trash me and Bonnie. I think I heard they trash. It's called Who Is This Podcast?
Who are these podcasts? Carl. Yeah, he's very funny.
They're deep in the Dabbleverse.
Yeah, he's funny.
Okay, so I'm sure.
Why is it? Because I have a podcast that's also a sentence. Why are you laughing?
Mm-hmm.
And Vinny Paulino always calls it, why are they laughing? And what is it about? And I hear that with Carl's podcast all the time. It's 4 words. It's not that difficult.
Well, I think Vinny says that because I'm almost positive, if I recall, that was Stuttering John's big insult towards the show. Wasn't it?
Towards us?
Didn't he say that in passing when he was talking about it like 6 months after the video was posted?
Boy, Vinny goes real deep if he caught that because I have no idea what you're talking about. But
I think I could also be thinking of oh no, you know what? I'm thinking of Why Do They Podcast? Never mind.
I had a feeling that's what you were thinking of.
Yeah. Never mind.
But anyway, my that is my point is people, for some reason people can never get those names right. And also that it's funny you bring that up because I don't know why John thinks that's an insult. Why Do They Podcast is actually a better title. Like why Who Are These Podcasts has stuck, but Why Do They Podcast as a sentence makes more sense. And John plays it like it's this big insult.
It should be called Who Are These Podcasts? The description, Why Do They Podcast?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's John's like, gotcha. It's like, no, that actually makes sense.
He did the whole show or all of it on there, and the guy is good. I said this on my podcast.
Yeah.
Carl, he's funny.
The guy, is he a comic?
I don't know if he does stand up. He is a funny broadcaster, though.
Well, they had.
Hey, John.
Comic-Con.
Seems like Voss looks at you and Carl as the same level of comic.
And Carl,
hey, John, you've been in the business for 40 fucking years. If you showed Rich Voss a picture of Stuttering John and a picture of Carl and said one of these men are comics, stand-up comedians, it would have been a complete toss-up. John, just think about that. Mull that over when you're downing your next Michelob Ultra in a matter of seconds.
There is a chance.
Consider that.
There is a chance that Carl doing his first set of stand-up comedy would be much, much funnier than John.
Oh, well, Carl's done. I don't know if you necessarily call it stand-up, but like he hosts his live shows and shit, and I'm certain it's better than whatever John misrepresents as comedy at his fucking shows.
He had a Comic-Con and they did the whole thing, and a lot of people don't like this Stuttering John for some reason, right?
Mhm.
And he really reviewed it. Like, I was really pro this guy because he was saying nice things about me.
You like it when people are
Sure.
yeah.
He was saying nice things. But I think someone told me he trashed me and Bonnie, said just a bickering old couple doing a pie. And I'm sure that's,
I mean, not an untrue description.
Well, hey, boss, we think you're pretty terrific as well, buddy.
Come on, anytime.
It's just funny to me that, like, John, for all of his fucking gloating that he does about how much respect he has in the business and how he has this resume. That's another thing he always goes to is like, I've got the best resume in the Dabbleverse. Nobody compares, which I don't know why that matters, by the way. It's never been part of the argument.
Yes.
No one's ever been like, hey, I've been on the Howard Stern show. It's like, no, we know you have, and we haven't. That's fine. Good for you, buddy. But again, if you showed a veteran comedian, like one of the legends, the legendary Comedy Cellar table, one of the main guys, like an institution at the Comedy Cellar, you show him a picture of Carl and Stuttering John and say, one of these guys are comics, the other isn't. John's like, boss is like, I don't know, flip a coin. Could be either of them.
Next we have Sam is in.
Oh, I mean, you've heard it already. But Sam is clearly, I mean, to the point where he's letting everyone in the room know how the Dabbleverse got his name. Like, Voss didn't even know that, and he's the one that presented this subject.
What started the whole thing with John, though? Like, why don't people like him? Like, what? I don't know what started the whole thing.
I think, I don't exactly know. Like,
No, of course you don't, Sam.
I don't know.
This is Sam on a first date, and, like, Star Wars comes up. And you don't want to look like a complete nerd.
Right.
And you're like, actually, I mean, I've heard that's not exactly what George Lucas is going for. So I don't know if you're totally right on that. But I don't really know a lot about the subject, So you might be right. I have no idea. But basically what I've heard is that.
The guy's big in the Chad Zumach catalytic converter drama. Like,
what
jump
was
in
that?
and jump out.
What was that? He stole a catalytic converter?
It was when he pretended that Anthony punched him in the face. And he was doing a bit or
Sam's
something.
like, geez, I don't exactly know. But here's everything that happened.
Here's the exact scenario.
This was yesterday. You just heard about it? No. Well over a year ago.
Dave Sarah in the comments says catalytic converter.
I like that.
I liked it too.
But this is like when I'm around like Alba's friends who maybe I'm not comfortable giving all my
giving yourself to
views on things around.
Yeah.
So they'll let's say they bring up like a canceled comedian, like they're like, oh, that's Shane Gillis. I've heard he's racist, right? And I have to be like,
yeah.
No, I've actually heard that completely was blown. I've heard, and listen, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I've heard that was totally taken out of context, and the media really blew that up, and SNL actually kind of fucked up by firing him. I didn't do like an entire episode about it or anything. This is just what I've heard.
I don't have his phone number. I don't kind of know him.
I like Sam pretend he's like, Chad had some. This is just, I don't know. Chad had something. Anyway, yeah, he was stealing catalytic converters, and they said "Kumia country," and they punched him in the face and ran away.
Anthony's fan, he said,
punched
him in the face, but then it turned out he was not telling the truth, but he said he was doing a bit.
Motherfucker.
But Anthony accused him of trying to steal catalytic converters. It was a whole thing. So
Why?
So
Where would he get the wrenches from?
I don't know.
And so he's like, but again, I don't know if that's even true because I don't follow this stuff.
Now we're at our last clip.
Mike, Louis C.K. is really guilty, right? And I have to be like, I've heard there are two sides to every story, actually. It's weird. I could be totally wrong on this.
Some people think he's guilty. Other people said that he asked for permission every single time.
It's funny you bring up Louis C.K. being guilty because I've never thought about it once, but I actually have a full defense prepared if you'd like to get into it.
This
Sorry, this is our last clip.
Yeah, fun shot at Anthony.
Oh, there's no reason for this. But hey, John, this is a guy Voss has known for 25 fucking years. Just take that into consideration. Go with the flow once in a while.
Anthony move yet? Did he?
I don't know if he's full time. He was back doing something.
Where do you go to? Obscurity?
No, he's in one of the Carolinas.
Norton answering, no, he didn't. But John, like, that's a guy. He's in Anthony's old house, basically.
Yeah.
He's known Anthony forever, and that's the type of joke he makes. Just fucking go with the flow once in a while. Hey, did Shuley say something nasty about you? Did Carl say something over the line? We can argue that all day. I probably won't agree with John on that, but we can argue it. But once in a while, go with the fucking flow. Like you're embarrassing yourself. That's Voss, and Voss has no fucking dog in this race, and just made a little joke. Like, honestly, I think it was the approach that Chad took. It's amazing that Chad is the grown-up in this situation. Because I think the approach that Chad took was like, he's probably kind of honored on some level that Voss knew who he was and was interacting with him, you know?
Right. He's probably good. This goes a long way for my credibility.
Like, I could criticize Tony Hinchcliffe all day, but, like, he comments on my Instagram, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, you know? He thinks I'm insane, I guess, but that's something.
I'll be able to eat this month.
Voss has nothing. Like, he can't for a moment think like, oh, this guy's busting my balls, I'll give it back. You know? It has to be someone above him. Like Howard is allowed to bust his balls. You know? I'm sure Jay Leno is allowed. But it has to be someone he's subservient to. If he views you as lesser than, which I don't know why he views Voss as lesser than, when Voss is clearly light years more successful in stand-up.
Right.
Oh, really? Was he ever the announcer for the Tonight Show? No, that's not his job. He has a different job, and it's stand-up comedy.
Dennis in East Boston, $2. Great Curb Why You Laughing episode, Mike.
Well, thank you, buddy.
I enjoyed that.
We got another good one coming out this week, I think. Go to blindmike.net. Check it if you want early access to those episodes. Become a Patreon or YouTube member, whichever platform is easier for you. All right. Moving on. Let's go to Brendan Schaub next. I wore my thick boy hat today because it's a rare day where I can wear this in earnestness. And I think, like, unless I'm missing something, I think this is a great Brendan Schaub moment.
Yep.
Where he's just let go and he's like, you know what? Fuck everyone. So do you know who this SteveWillDoIt guy is?
I've seen him on Twitter, but other than that, I have no clue.
So I don't know. I mean, I guess he's involved with the Nelk Boys or something. He is part owner of that Happy Dad, the Seltzers, I think, or has something to do with that. He's got some tie to Dana White. I don't know who he is. He has a ton of followers on Twitter. He's got a big following. I've seen some of his rants. He seems a little unhinged on Twitter, but I don't know the context. I don't know him at all. And so Dana White, after UFC 300, which I watched, by the way, a rare Mike Geary viewing of a UFC fight.
Mm-hmm.
I guess UFC 300 was a big success, and a lot of people criticized it. I don't really know about that. And Brendan Schaub was one of the people that criticized the card. He said, for a 300, for like a big event like that, it was not it, I believe, was Brendan Schaub's take.
Oh, that was a great card.
Well, then after the success of it, Dana White put out a video where he's basically like, hey, fuck all the media that thought this would suck. And one of the highlights in there is Brendan Schaub. It's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
So for some reason, SteveWillDoIt interjects into this conversation. And he deleted the tweets, so I don't have them. Luckily, our boy, Too Lazy to Try, great YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're into comedy, you probably already are subscribed. But if you're not, go subscribe because he's good. He doesn't follow like all the stories that I'm into, and some I don't care about that he covers. But like the big stuff, he's always got. He's got the good news on Too Lazy to Try. So it's a good for comedy news. It's a good source, I would say. That and Joke World, I think, are both pretty good.
And Scion Z.
Yes, and unique.
Unique. That's right.
Unique is good. Yeah. Although unique is very focused on Brendan Schaub specifically these days. Not much else gets in there.
Well, it's kind of like Turtle Boy and Karen Reed.
Yeah, it is. It's oddly, it is like that. Yes.
Just interwoven into the story now.
Yeah, he's obsessed. But yeah, Too Lazy to Try has the tweets that are now deleted, and we'll tell you why those no longer exist in a minute. But here's some of SteveWillDoIt's tweets about Brendan.
So he said, Dana White is a top tier human. Brandon Schaub, you're an effing goofball. I thought you were a former UFC fighter. You failed at comedy and you can't even talk about UFC right. Brandon Schaub is a loser. He also said, Dana White just took a dump on all the haters. Brandon Schaub, you're an effing goofball. Least funny comedian out there. At least he's referring to him as a comedian. You know, I'd say that's a W for Brandon Schaub. And then Steve made a couple more tweets and said, Brandon Schaub, more like Brandon Slob, #loser. Then he also said, imagine being a former UFC fighter and get introduced by Dana White as a podcaster. LOL, Brandon Schaub, loser. So
And I gotta say, the homeless cats have much better stuff than that. These are not original insults, really.
Right.
But I don't understand the animosity. Like that wasn't one, that was a series of tweets. He's going off on Brendan, or as he calls him, Brandon, for some reason.
Because it's insulting.
He seems very, very worked up. I don't know the source of this anger. If you guys do, feel free to leave it in the comments, because I don't know much about SteveWillDoIt, but he's very worked up about Brendan for some reason. And so Brendan went on his show and responded. Now, what's interesting is Brendan and Dana White are all good. Brendan actually handled this the way I've been saying for a long time. I hope he starts to kind of realize this stuff. Maybe he is. Because Brendan responded to Dana White basically like, that's pretty funny. You got me. You know? Like he took it all in stride. No big deal. So SteveWillDoIt missed the mark on this one. Like him and Dana were being playful about it. And for some reason, the Steve guy like rushed to Dana White's defense when he didn't need it. But we hear Brendan now going on his show and addressing this.
Like, what's it? SteveWillDoIt. He came at me on Twitter. I was like, what? Like,
Why though?
Why, Baba?
he's close with Dana, and I think he's young. I don't know how old he is, but I think he's young. So maybe that's his way of like getting his boys back, which I respect. I get that, but this isn't. You don't know what you're doing. You're not educated on the dynamics of everything, and that stuff doesn't bother me. You know, I've dealt with much worse.
Wow.
But I just think he's
Well,
ill-informed.
I gotta interject. I was gonna let him finish, but hey, Brendan, that you gotta shake that off. It does bother you a little bit, and that's fine. Like that's if a guy was going off on me like that, it would bother me. I'd be like, "What the fuck? Why is he angry? Who is this man? Why is he so pissed?" So that's what Brendan's got to drop. Is this idea that he's unfazed by comments. And he started to a little bit. Remember at Skankfest, there were clips of him going around where he's like, you know, like, you remember I think we played the clip where he's like, oh, Reddit, that scares me. I don't go there. Like he was being playful about it. So that's one thing, like he does a pretty good job here, but that's one thing he should drop is the idea that he's like completely unfazed by criticism. Because there are guys that it doesn't bother at all, but I don't think Brendan's one of them. But I apologize, Brendan. Continue.
But I try to look at his perspective. He's probably like, you know, wants to ride with Dana, and Dana helps him out, and they're boys, right? And I think they own that, you know, whatever the alcohol is.
Dad?
Yeah, Happy Dad. Or I don't know. I assume they have business together. So he's defending his boy, which I get and I love. I do the same. I ride for my guys. Like, do a little research. I'm not this isn't it, bud. This isn't it. And maybe again, the news cycle takes forever, and he's probably not paying attention to what I do. I couldn't tell you what he does.
Which I actually maybe that's Brendan being kind of a cunt. Maybe he does know what he does and he's lying. But like I don't know, SteveWillDoIt's not a household name. I have no fucking idea who he is either, and I'm not throwing shade, as they say. I genuinely like did a cursory research, and I was like, I don't know who this guy is. He owns Happy Dad, I think, but that's all I could figure out.
Is that the guy that Coach HP interviewed?
Not to my knowledge.
Something Dads, right?
Oh no, not even close.
Oh, just kidding. Just kidding.
Not even remotely close. Guys, Go back. Go back and watch the clip that you're referring to. Just go watch every Coach HP episode we've done. You'll figure it out. And imagine that man going at Brendan Schaub and calling him a pussy.
Well, I didn't know if it was the company. I know it wasn't Steve Will Do It, but it could have been the company.
This guy that wrote a book on fatherhood and peaceful parenting. Hey, homo. You're a failed comic. What a wildly, I don't know if anyone's ever been that wrong before.
Man, you just prove like if you say homo in the right context, it still slaps pretty goddamn hard.
Yeah, well, you're wrong. Despite the fact that he owns Happy Dad Seltzers, it doesn't make him a father. It doesn't mean he wrote a book on fatherhood. They're actually different people.
Next, we have failure. It's kind of like my analogy.
Okay, so this is Brendan. This is Brendan. Not like you want to talk about Brendan being a failure. That's in the eye of the beholder, I suppose.
You know, the other guys are just podcasters. You know, I have a background, so there's stuff you can go after. Yeah, I was a world champion. No, I'm not Kevin Hart or Joe Rogan. You know,
okay, hold on. Again, I forgot about the first half of this. We're getting to a place where I'm really going to defend Brendan. And I might even cheer for Brendan. Give him an attaboy.
Right.
I forgot the first half of this was old Brendan. It was typical Brendan, where he's like, sure, I'm not Kevin Hart or Joe Rogan. First of all, why are those your examples of funny comedians? I mean, Rogan I get, but like, Kevin Hart is not, he's a self-help guy at this point. He does DraftKings commercials. He's not a comedian anymore, you know? It's interesting psychologically that his examples of like great comedians are the two most financially successful guys rather than, you know, like Dave Attell or Colin Quinn or something, you know?
Right.
Like just psychologically, that's interesting. But also like Brendan, I would say, again, if we're going to be real, if we're going to live in the real world, I don't know, there's a few hundred names you could list before you, like actively. And that's not a slight on Brendan Schaub. I'm, you know, as far as success goes in podcasting, I'm significantly further down the list. But if you want to view like guys that are respected in comedy, there are a lot ahead of Brendan. It's not just two guys, you know?
Correct.
No, I'm not Kevin Hart or Joe Rogan. You know? So you can poke stuff at that. It's like, oh, you just don't know, Bubba. Failed comedian. Oh, buddy, you don't know comedy. You don't know comedy.
Oh, God. We're here to defend Brendan today.
We got to be.
But I forgot how much I hated this part.
Can't be biased. You got to show the good and the bad.
You don't know, buddy. Brendan, you quit comedy. You quit stand-up.
You sold a ticket.
Which, again, he's way more successful in stand-up than me. You know, like the average asshole on the internet that makes fun of him.
Stuttering
Absolutely.
John.
Yeah. I mean, way more successful than Stuttering John. Undoubtedly.
That's right.
Like, and Brendan, here's where you could compliment Brendan, is like John, as much as he calls himself a comedian, has never put a clip of himself doing stand-up out there. Brendan watched Gringo Poppy and said, release this to the world. I don't care what they say about it. Like, that's balls. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I would want that under lock and key if it existed of me doing that. But Brendan like has the courage to release that to the world. That is absolutely something. It's something that like Stuttering John doesn't have, where he's afraid to release his stuff because he thinks it's going to get mocked. At least Brendan puts his stuff out there. So yes, he's more success, but I don't love this act of like, you made fun of my comedy, Papa? That's not it, guy. Yeah, yes, it is, Brendan. People are allowed to make fun of your comedy. You're not so respected in comedy that you're untouchable, you know? Like, that doesn't have to be the argument of every... And we get it sometimes. Like, we posted a video of Chris D'Elia last week. And, you know, whenever we do that, or Brendan Schaub, or guys like that, we inevitably get comments where it's like, what have you done? Oh, nothing. I'm significantly less successful than those guys, like by leaps and bounds, which is why it's interesting to talk about. I'm not going to open mics and taking video surreptitiously of people and being like, Craig, you got to see this piece of shit. look at this guy try. No, they put this stuff out there, and this is the stuff I like to talk about, so we're going to talk about it. Like the same way that, I can criticize an NFL quarterback, but I never played football a day in my life,
Right.
That's how I look at it. So yes, Brendan, you are more successful than a lot of these people, but when someone online calls you a failed comic, your response shouldn't be like it's Joe Rogan, Kevin Hart, and then me.
He always does that.
That's not it, guy. I could say that.
It's not it, Baba.
That's not it, buddy.
From your outside perspective, I'm not at Kevin Hart or Joe Rogan or Sebastian's level. No. Does that mean I
Stop
failed?
naming arena acts.
And 99.999% of comics fail. If that's your level, then yeah, all of us are failures for about 5 guys in the world to ever do it.
Yeah, that's where I get what he's trying to say, but it's not 5 guys. Like there are a couple hundred comics that you can definitely say are better than Brendan Schaub, like working right now. Mm-hmm. And I think here's the thing that Brendan's like ignoring. If you lined them up, I think Brendan would say, yes, this guy's a better comedian than me. That guy's a better comedian than me. You know what I mean? Like if you got the Skankfest lineup out and we're like, get an order of talent, I don't think Brendan would rush to the front, You don't
think?
I guess that's my point.
You don't think?
Mowing down Tim Dillon and Shane. Just pushing Ari Shaffir out of the way.
Next we got Step Outside.
This is the part I liked. This is where it's like, Brendan, if you're going to take comments this seriously, you've either got to go one of 2 ways. You've got to be totally in on the joke and roll with it and say, hey, I'm the type of comedian, whatever confidence I have in my material, I'm the type of comedian people are going to make fun of, or you can do this. And I respect both tactics just as much.
Yeah, with Steve, I have no issues with him. He seems like a good guy. Anybody that knows him tells me he's a good guy. I don't know what he does. Maybe just ill-informed. But I'm easy to find. Super easy to find. Super easy to find. And we have a mutual friend in Bradley Martin. I text Brad yesterday. I talk to Brad probably once a week. Brad's a close buddy of mine. Helped me out, with my energy levels and peptides and all. Like, Brad's my guy. Yeah. Absolutely adore Bradley. He's the fucking man. And he's best friends with Steve. So there's a mutual friend there. So I'm easy to find. You can get my number from Bradley. If there's something going on that I don't know about, you're so upset, I can meet you at Zoo Culture, whichever location you want. We can meet there. We can talk about it. If you're so mad, we can go in the back room and figure it out. You sign papers that you're not going to sue or anything like that. We can figure it out.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's Brendan's best response, I think, where he's just had enough. And maybe he's done that before. And I think if he does this all the time, then I don't like it as much. But I'm watching it from the angle of like Brendan has just eaten shit for 8 years in stand-up comedy. People insulting him, like breaking down, and I'm including me in that. People breaking down his specials and laughing at them, his peers calling him a fucking moron, and just being mocked relentlessly. And after all this time, Brendan's finally like, then why don't you fucking fight me? How about that? Then say it to my face, you motherfucker.
Was there
What's that?
Was there something about I don't know if it was Skankfest or something, but there was talks of him fighting trolls.
Lewis wanted Brendan Schaub to wear a bunch of padding, and trolls could just like have at him basically, but Brendan would be able to fight back. Which would have been great.
People always say he's like a failed fighter. And like he did say, that was part, like he didn't win the championship, but he was top 10 in the world. Like,
yeah, well, here's the thing. It's
insane.
The better analogy that Brendan is trying to use for comedy.
Yeah.
He has that for fighting.
Correct.
Where it's like he got into comedy. The reason he's as successful as he was in comedy is because of Joe Rogan. If a guy named Brendan Schaub just started as an open mic and did the material that he's done for the last 8 years, 10 years, whatever, we wouldn't know his name.
Right.
Like the rule, and that, I mean, that's just true. I don't know if Brendan would argue that or not. But like the reason we know his name is because he was famous first for something else. That's just a fact.
And Dave Sarah, Schaub knocked out Crow Cop. That did happen.
Well, so yeah. So the argument that Brendan's trying to make for comedy, he should apply that to fighting. When people are like, oh, you're a failed fighter, you lost, this and that. Just be like, yeah, I mean, I was ranked fucking 11th in the world or whatever he was.
Yeah.
You know? Like, what percentage of people rise to that level? And if you want to criticize him as a fighter, well, then fight him, I guess. You know?
Yep.
No, but that's the other thing is like people can criticize Brendan as a fighter, but he's not a failed fighter. You can argue that he's a failed comedian, but I like the idea of him just being fed up with it and being like, well, then come to my gym. Hey, Royce and Mersh, why don't you come to my gym?
If you can knock out Crow Cop, you can legitimately knock out anybody on this planet.
There you
go. Next we got he's not bothered.
Yeah, well, like you can tell he's definitely bothered. And that's, again, what I would drop Brendan. But I do like this approach because, you know what? If Brendan came out to me at Skankfest and was like, I saw the video you did about our ticket sales in Austin. I'd be like, oh, that? You know, Craig and Carl were actually putting me up to that. Oh, those rascals.
That was the thing though with Legion of Skanks when we were talking shit about him and stuff. They were all like, I don't think we could take them all three of us on him.
Well, here's the reality. If I don't think Brendan should fight me for anything I've said about him or anyone else on Twitter. Well, I mean, there's some people on Reddit maybe that deserve a beating probably, but
yeah.
You know what I mean? In general, like people that just mock him online or whatever don't deserve to have the shit beaten out of them by a fucking Neanderthal. But really, what I would say to Brendan is like I would defend some of the stuff we said, but if he's face to face with me, I'd probably be a little intimidated. Knowing he could rip my fucking head off, you know?
If he's talking to you, you're gonna expand your cane to just be like, you do see this, right?
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
I want you to make sure you know I'm blind.
Purposely bumping into things.
Oh, jeez.
Brendan, you wouldn't want to fight a disabled man, of course. I know that. No, like here's where Brendan's had to figure out like a line is he can beat up all of us. So either you have to do that and you have to be like, I don't mind being mocked, or I'm going to just kick the shit out of you. And if he can do that funny, I think this is kind of a funny approach. Like, what he has to mix in with it is acknowledging his comedy is not that of Joe Rogan or Kevin Hart. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of have to do it, but also just fucking fight me then. You know, like, that's kind of a funny approach. The issue is he does seem bothered, as we'll see in this clip.
But again, and it's not a bully thing. It's not a cocky thing. I think why it doesn't bother me, obviously I get a lot of it. It's like I've never, ever, check the receipts. I've never had anybody in stand-up, podcasting, the MMA community, whatever community, trucking, car community, nobody that's ever come after me. I've never been worried if you locked me in a room with them, how it would go. I've never had a single person on this earth come after me that I couldn't beat up. And that's just facts. This isn't a bully thing. This isn't a cocky thing. So I think that's why it doesn't bother me, because I know Steve, or I know insert comic or insert podcast or insert whoever it is from anything that I do that talk shit about me. I know if we were in the same room, you would not talk to me that way.
Terrifying. That's just a frightening man when you think of it that way.
I might have to buy a thick boy hat.
That's what you got to do. That's how you protect yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
But like even like Crackamico has made a couple songs about Brendan Schaub. But even like he has a lyric in one of them where it's something to the effect of like, Brendan Schaub is a nice guy. I have to say that or I might die. Like, everyone knows you can beat the shit out of us, Brendan. But like, so I don't think that's a correct response to most of his trolls. But we're building to something. There's a reason this is very funny. There's a reason I like Brendan talking in this tone, and that's because of the results that it yielded.
He's gonna. This is the last clip here.
Okay, so this is where I really enjoy. Where again, this SteveWillDoIt guy went off on him. So Brennan's like, hey, well then, fucking fight me, I guess.
The facts are, I have this set of skills that I still work on, and the set of skills is not for Twitter, it's not for Instagram, it's not for Facebook. Those set of skills are for when I'm with my kids and I'm at a car show.
Something happens.
And you pop off, and then those skills, while you were busy chugging beer or whatever you're doing or shooting YouTube videos, those are your skills. These skills are gonna fuck you up. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I don't want to.
That's all I'm saying. I love this.
But I don't want to.
I'm a fan of this.
Of this, Brendan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I liked too, where it's like, hey, I don't want to fucking kill you, but you're putting me in a position where I might have to.
You understand, if I want to, you'll eat from a straw the rest of your life.
Yeah, like that's kind of funny. Now, I don't think that's how Brendan should respond to everyone that goofs on him on Twitter or on a podcast or anything. Of course not. That'd be silly.
I think you only got to say that once.
But the reason I like this response is because of the results it got. Now, I mentioned SteveWillDoIt deleted all of his tweets.
Yes.
Talking about Brendan Schaub. But then posted one to make up for those. You know, he got back to even. He said, oh, my Brendan Schaub tweets are gone. I better post about him again. And this is the tone that SteveWillDoIt had after this Brendan Schaub rant.
I want to take back anything I said about Brandon Schaub. The guy is a very nice person, and I shouldn't have attacked him.
Hold on. What about what we just heard makes him a nice guy? He's like, fucking meet me in the streets, and I'll murder you.
You want to get locked into a room?
Say it again, motherfucker. I dare you. You can call that a lot of things. Nice guy isn't one of them, I don't think.
I don't think he is a nasty person. My bad, Brandon Schaub.
Still fucking up his name.
Yep. You're a good guy, I feel. Looked into you a little more. It's no more nasty people in 2024, and I don't believe you're nasty. End tweet.
I actually think you're really cool, and your sneakers are nice, and you've got great fashion sense, and you've got a cool haircut. And I think, honestly, Gringo Poppy, it's like George Carlin who, you know? Like, I think you revolutionized the art form.
I don't think I've ever laughed harder in my life than watching Gringo Poppy.
Oh, my God. Did I say failure? I'm sorry. I started typing F for fucking hilarious.
When you said Joe Rogan,
and it auto-corrected.
When you said Joe Rogan, I screamed so loud. I was like, woo!
I remember when you shouted out Theo Vaughn, and that was the biggest pop of the special.
Dude, you go Liam Neeson from fucking Taken, but like mean it for real. Like, fuck.
I've got a very special set of skills.
My God, this didn't work out for our last person.
That's horrifying. Sorry I made fun of the video Dana White made. I don't want you to kill me over it.
Please don't.
But that's hilarious. I don't know anything about SteveWillDoIt, so maybe I don't have the full context, but it's hilarious to hear that and be like, guys, I've thought about this. Brendan's actually a really nice guy.
He's actually quite nice.
You know what? You know what I found? I listened to his podcast, and he seems pretty sweet, if you ask me. So good for Brendan. And this is what I was saying about Tom Myers earlier. It's like, you can't only kick a guy, you know?
Right.
Every once in a while, you got to let him get up and dust himself off. And I think that's what this was.
Drip Lord, $2. Great show as always, boys.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, feller.
Appreciate that.
Where do you think about going next?
Well, since we don't have much time, we should go to Piers Morgan just to make sure we fit that in.
Really? I was going to say the other one.
Well, the other one will hold. This one,
that's true.
We might not get to, you know?
That's very true.
So you guys are familiar with Crackhead Barney by this point, I'm sure?
They have to.
Should we play? Do we need to play the video of her with Alec Baldwin? I feel like everyone's seen it by now.
I'll skip about halfway through.
Yeah.
And play it. We need some of
that
it
works.
because it's classic Baldwin.
Yeah, so if you missed it, Alec Baldwin on the right side of history for once.
On the right side of this camera.
Yeah. So he was being harassed in New York City, as he often is, but this one really went viral.
Free Palestine, Alec, just one time, and I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone, I swear. Just say Free Palestine one time. One time. One time.
The Jews have been very good to me, ma'am. I'm not going to do that.
Alec, you know he's a criminal. You know he's a fucking criminal. Come on, Alec, just say Free
You know he's a
Palestine
criminal.
one time. One time, just one time.
God, that
please,
voice.
And I'll leave you alone. Free Palestine. Fuck Israel, fuck Zionism. Please say it.
Okay, so you get the point.
One time.
Go on, he's about to.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you know, his proclivities for
Good for
attacking
Alex.
camera.
That's an Alex. Now that's who Alex should have called a nasty little pig or whatever he called his daughter. You know,
Right.
You gotta save insults sometimes, Alec.
Mhm.
So that went viral, and everyone, even the detractors, had Alex back on that one. They were like, he was on the the righteous path there. This lady's fucking annoying. But I would submit into evidence that this lady is also a psychopath, right?
An actress.
Oh, so is she an actress or is she crazy or both?
Probably both. I mean, she goes around with like mime white face paint on her face all day.
Yeah. So, well, that's the thing is maybe she's fucking nuts, but I think she's just someone looking for attention, right? Like she knows what she's doing, obviously.
It's that, or she's the ashiest person to ever have lived.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know about all that, but well, by the way, this is Crackhead Barney. So for some reason, you remember Piers Morgan?
Sure do.
Respected newsman.
Sure do.
The guy that took over for Larry King on CNN, like a true blue journalist, right? You would say?
Yep.
A guy that interviewed the big stars when there was news happening.
Yep.
For some reason, he said, you know who we have to get to talk about Israel versus Palestine is Crackhead Barney. This is way worse. We made fun of Tucker Carlson and Kevin Spacey.
Yep.
I mean, this is eons worse, I think.
At least Tucker was going for a joke of some kind.
Tucker was, I think it like destroyed his integrity. but he was doing it with a wink and a nod, you know?
Yeah.
He was in on the joke for sure. Piers, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I know what he's doing. He's going for clicks, and he knows it's a ridiculous interview. But, like, why would you just... Maybe, is he not respected anymore? Like, do people not take him seriously?
I thought he was.
See, I assumed so, too. I'm sure we'll get 50 comments like, oh, no, Piers is a joke now. People... I'm sure he had some take on COVID or something. I don't know.
So we played this on Jerry's show, and it wasn't like, I can't believe Piers Morgan did this. It was, look at this person who accosted Alec Baldwin. That was
well, no shit. What was Jerry doing?
He just wanted to show.
Really? The crazy person is crazy?
He just wanted to show the person.
This is like if I walked into Kirk's show and I was like, hey, Kirk, this homeless guy was yelling to me on the bus that he's Jesus. You're going to want to do a serious interview with him. Like, no. Treat him seriously. He has some thoughts on being the savior that I think you're going to want to hear.
Now, was it, to be like, see, this is the type of people that yell Free Palestine? Who's to say?
Is it the type of people? It's one person. Talk about anecdotal. This is all the people.
This is what they're like. This is who you got on your team.
First of all, it's a fucking actress. It is hilarious that she wore a neck brace, right? Like we can all agree that's funny.
Yes, I said that. I go, it's very funny she's wearing a neck brace.
That's very funny. And it also tells me, so it becomes less funny because she's in on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would actually be more funny if she was just a crazy person trying to pass off that she's injured.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, okay, so you're an actress, I guess, And that's why this interview is actually why when we were doing WATS the other night, someone super chatted us. Feel free to do that now, gang. But someone super chatted us and told us that she has a podcast, I guess. And I was like, oh, we'll have to look into that. And then after I saw this interview, I was like, oh, she's fake. Like it's all an act.
Yep. Reverend Shitstain Powerful Pooper, $2. A professional communist performance provocateur.
Yeah. So why? So Piers is going along with this. That's the hilarious part to me. So let's play some of this.
In a moment, I'll debate all that with Hassan Piker, Emily Austin, Esther Cracker, and James Barber. First,
Like, listen, he's having journalists on.
Now,
I'll be debating this with Hassan Piker, but first, a crackhead.
I wouldn't call Hassan Piker a journalist. I would call him a psychotic left-leaning.
He doesn't live on the street, does he, Craig?
No, he doesn't.
Okay, that's my point.
Okay.
It's not crackhead Hassan, is how he's billing himself.
Now,
I don't give a fuck what his political views are. My point is, he has a home.
Like, oh wow, Young Turks, journalist. That's what I always think.
Okay, I see. I can't do this with you. My point is
I'm sorry.
that Piers has gone onto a local bus and said, "Anyone want to talk about Israel?"
It's kind of like it's quite the panel.
So he's having all these people on, but first we have to get to Crackhead Barney.
Emily Austin.
The best part, though, about this is just remember, everybody, see the panel's already there. He then does the interview before he goes back to them.
Guys, you're going to want to see this.
You're going to want to see this.
Cracker and James Barber. First, I'm joined by Alec Baldwin's antagonist there, who calls herself Crackhead Barney. Well, welcome to Uncensored.
Okay, you know what? Would you care to guess when I would have called the interview?
Right then?
Yeah, I think I would have said, I guess we're not going to do this on my serious news program.
I think I would have been like, you know what, your tits are out and stuff. I'm just not doing this.
Now, on this show, I would have had a hoot with Crackhead Barney. You know, we could ask her what she thinks of Stuttering John and Tom Myers and all these people. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
Crackhead Barney, you think he could take on Brendan Schaub in a fight? Your thoughts?
Fucking Morgan!
Okay.
I wore my diaper today for you, Pierce. Do you like it?
Not particularly, no. Do you want to sit down?
Trying to handle it seriously. Listen to this asshole try and conduct a serious interview.
You think when he goes Crackhead Barney,
then it's hard. Yeah, it should be over then.
It should be, okay, I'm not taking this seriously. I'm going to let this person be a crazy person and then end it.
I think this like redefines clickbait journalism. Yeah, like this is a whole new level. Hey guys, guess what? Remember the lady that was screaming at Alec Baldwin? She's a little baddie. You guys aren't going to believe this. She's a little fucking nuts.
Yeah, she's crazy. I do enjoy that the chat is all on my side with Hassan. I just wanted to point that out.
That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
Palace, I would like to meet the Queen.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'd really like to meet the Queen.
I don't think the Queen, if you mean Queen Camilla, she is probably tied up with royal engagements at the moment. If you meant the Queen who died.
Get me in, Pierce.
Yeah.
Get me fucking in, Pierce. I want it.
This is, I hate Piers' smug, like, oh, you don't know as much about the royal family as I do. No shit, Piers. This woman has not misrepresented herself for 1 second.
No, I'm gonna have Crackhead Barney on, but the diaper is where I draw the line.
From the name to the outfit to the cadence, everything about this person would suggest she shouldn't be on a serious news program. And Piers is looking down his nose at her as if to say, "I'm better than you." Piers, sometimes you should act like you've been there. We should know instinctively. The thought should never have to cross our mind. Hey, is Piers Morgan better than Crackhead Barney? We should have said, of course. Now I'm not so sure.
Can I take you back?
Oh, this is on the Alec. The whole reason we're here. The Alec.
Okay, good. Let's find. I'm sure we're gonna get some real sense talking to us.
Yeah, this is gonna be a nice conversation.
Can I take you back, if I may, to what you did to Alec Baldwin? Can you explain why you did it?
What did I do to Alec Baldwin?
I'm fucking nuts.
You would think normal interview, he asked that question and goes, you know what? That was rhetorical. I get it.
What do you think? What was your goal with Alec Baldwin? I'm mentally ill and I'm addicted to crack.
Damage that Alec did to me. Do you see the damage? Look at my arms. Look at my arms, Pierce. Look at my neck. I was maimed by a white man on Monday. You're telling me what I did?
That's like, by the way, she ruined the joke there too. That's when like you do an impression of someone and you're like, I am Donald Trump. This is a Donald Trump impression I'm doing. It's like, oh, well, you can't, and it's not very good if you have to say it like that.
I'm doing Donald Trump.
It's a very good impression, one of the best impressions.
I'm Donald Trump. I'm running for president again. Me, Donald Trump.
Yeah, no, you have to spell it out like that for us. I'm wearing a neck brace, Piers. Aren't I hilarious?
See, the chat's asking all the right questions. Why are her tits out?
Yes. Now that already, who said that? Give him credit.
Rick, member, Gearhead.
Rick, I'm glad you're a member. I'm glad you're on our side because you, my friend, are a better journalist than Piers Morgan. Guys, light up the chat. See if we can find who's a better journalist than Piers Morgan today.
Piers is just like, you know what? It must be the crack.
For some reason, this guy's ignoring all the questions on everyone's mind.
No, you weren't maimed by Alec Baldwin on Monday, were you?
I was maimed.
No,
my
you weren't.
hand is broken. My neck is broken.
No, it's
my
not.
legs. Look at my legs.
Ooh.
My legs don't work. Look at this. Pierce. Pierce, are you another white devil? Pierce Morgan. Don't do this to me, Pierce. It's too early in the morning, Pierce. Pierce, it's too early.
Not the wig.
Your wig's come off.
I do enjoy that Piers is stone faced sitting there and someone's in that room is dying laughing.
That's what I'm saying with Piers being stone faced. It's like, no, you're not. Alec Baldwin didn't hurt you. Yeah, we all know that, Piers. You're not uncovering anything.
That's implied, you dumbass.
It's essentially like watching an SNL sketch and being,
Yes.
I don't believe that's actually Joe Biden.
Mm.
Yeah. No, we all know that, Piers. You haven't uncovered anything. What's this asshole doing?
Speaking of SNL and politics and stuff, Colin Jost hosted the White House Correspondents' Dinner last night.
Mhm.
And I actually thought he did a good job of
Oh.
kind of roasting everybody. But
Nice.
holy fuck, did he bomb so hard in the room?
Oh, is that right?
Oh,
that means he did a good job then, probably.
Correct. Because he would.
Because I think I think Norm bombed at the Correspondents' Dinner.
He had a very funny joke, and he said something along the lines of Michael Che, my Weekend Update co-host. I didn't have him come, just show solidarity with Joe Biden and losing all my black support.
That's very funny.
And it was like to crickets, and I was like, "That's a
because
funny
they're not allowed to laugh at that stuff."
And then he made fun of the New York Times, the New York Post, and everyone's in there. But he had another line he said too is like, I'm in a room just like a bunch of you in here. I do like I'm a fake journalist on TV or some shit like that. Like, he was chipping at everybody. I thought it was
great.
Yeah, but he was bombing.
I think like back in the day, I think maybe even like Bush and Clinton like would have laughed at those jokes. You know what I mean? Like maybe I'm wrong. I don't know enough about politics, but like there was a line somewhere. I think even Obama probably would have laughed. Like
yeah, no, he would have.
There was a line with all the anger around Trump and like politicians like aren't allowed to laugh at those jokes anymore for some reason.
Obama treated those like a giant roast. Like he would go up at the end and then kind of make comments back.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
But Piers is getting to the bottom of forget Colin Jost.
Yeah.
You know who's someone who should be taken very seriously?
Crackhead Barney.
Crackhead Barney. Piers is unbreakable. He's like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. You know what? I don't think she's actually injured. And I don't think Alec Baldwin did anything to this lady. Oh, very good, Piers. I'm sorry, Mr. Pulitzer, is that you on the phone?
What I want to tell you about Piers Morgan Uncensored is it's very serious. I'm doing an Australian accent. I can't fucking do it, but like he's just like,
it's very serious.
I can't do an English accent.
Seriously, if I may, for a moment, because
you know what? Piers should have Craig on and be like, I don't think you're really British. And Craig has to sit there and do that accent.
That's exactly what it'd be like. I am, I is.
No, you're not. Oh, a didgeridoo to you, Piers?
Crikey, how could you come at me like that?
You're lying.
I look out my window and there's kangaroos everywhere in London.
What an investigator.
No,
This
no,
guy
no,
really gets to the bottom of an issue.
no, there's not. There's no kangaroos in London. That's the
You-
energy right now.
You are not.
Chris Plot, I presume, with Alec Baldwin. He was getting a coffee. You run in, you call him a killer.
I was getting a coffee too.
Okay, but you
I
decided
was
to.
getting a coffee.
Now, all he's doing right now, honestly, when he's like, "You called him a killer," I'm like, "Well, he is. He did kill a lady."
That's true. Yeah, the facts are building on the side of Crackhead Barney here, actually.
I'm sorry.
Piers is losing this exchange.
Well, yeah, that'd be great. Well, he is.
Hey, Piers, I can see really good. Want to have me on your show? No, you can't. How many fingers am I holding up?
How'd you know? You guessed right by accident. He's like, "I knew it."
I did that with Lauren Compton, by the way.
That's right, you did.
I guessed right, and she's like, "You can see." I was like, "It was a 1 of 5 chance."
20%. That's pretty good. It's better than any parlay. Yep.
That's true.
You don't have to shout at me as well. We can have a civilized conversation. I want to know, seriously.
Yeah, Crackhead Barney.
I'm very serial.
Crackhead Barney, let's be civilized here for a moment. Have you no decorum, Crackhead Barney?
I want to know, seriously, why you did what you did and what you hope to gain by it.
Pierce fucking Morgan. You're asking
Just for the record, my name is actually just Piers
What's wrong
Morgan.
with
Oh
saying
my
free
God.
Palestine? Pierce, can you say
Like, he thinks he's getting one. Like, he thinks he's being the funny guy now with that. He's like, actually, for the record, my name is Piers Morgan. It's not Piers fucking Morgan.
Yeah, oh, you're
Piers,
dialed into the accent. Keep it.
you have someone insane screaming at you. That's not a great comeback. Actually, there's no fucking my name.
You got it. You dialed in.
That's, hey, Piers, I'm British. Want to have me on your show? I'm the king of London.
I'm British. Look at me doing a British guy.
You know how I'm really the king of London is that I said the king of London instead of England.
I didn't even pick up on that.
I'm just wearing a big crown. Hello, Piers.
Now, if Piers Morgan Uncensored was smart, it would have had like in the corner of the screen just the panel. I want to see their reactions to this.
Just rolling there. What? I'm sorry. Why am I here early? Why did you say we really need you for this part?
You want me to watch this for some reason? We're going to talk about this after.
Do this on your own time, you freak.
I think
Can you say free Palestine for
if
me?
you stop shouting, yeah.
I want you to say it.
Yes, I'm happy to say.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
not going to shout.
If you just,
Mr. Pierce Morgan,
if you just
please
keep
say
quiet,
free
I can answer your
Palestine.
question. Yes, I'm very happy to
I'm
say
never
that.
quiet, Pierce.
Sorry, you're still talking.
I'm never quiet.
Okay, but try.
I'm never
Otherwise,
quiet,
I can't.
Piers. I cannot
You asked me
shut
to do
up.
something. If you don't shut up, I can't give you the answer.
Crackhead Barney wouldn't let me get a word in edgewise. I thought we were going to have a very polite conversation.
Can you do the British accent not at a whisper?
I can't, no.
It just becomes Australian again.
I have to, yeah, I can't even do it now.
Next we have Let's Talk Reason. Here.
Let's cut the bullshit here, Crackhead Barney. enough horsing around.
Just imagine Larry King with this person.
Oh, that would be great.
I know.
Why are you in a neck brace?
Is that right?
Oh, Larry would go along with it.
I know.
Alec Baldwin hurt you?
This man needs to be stopped.
Someone's got to stop this guy. Larry would have been great in this spot.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Pierce, you're hurting me. Pierce, you're really hurting me right now.
You see, here's my
You're
problem.
hurting me.
Here's my problem with your performative art, Crackhead. Is I don't see what
Crackhead.
you're doing.
He's referring to her the way Stuttering John refers to penis wrinkle.
Hey, penis.
I'm sorry. Next on the program, we've got Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern Show. Beetle, what's your take on Israel?
Hey, Mr. Juice.
Cause of Palestine. All
He's-
you're doing
You may know him differently, but we've got Gary the Conqueror to talk about abortion today.
is turning
You're
the whole
talking to a demented person, Piers, or someone that's pretending to be. I don't know which is worse. But.
This is insane. This is like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, something like that. Like it's insanely long.
It's so much better to watch it from this angle, right? Like I'm just imagining Jerry, like Piers is really nailing her.
Like I said, it was more for the this is who's on the side of the campus protests.
But isn't it more fun? You take a break from your political show.
Mhm.
Isn't it more fun to watch it from this angle and be like, why are we entertaining any of this?
For sure. Yes.
Palestine. All you're doing is turning the whole war into a joke.
Like this show.
This war is not a joke.
Well, why are you making it such a mockery? Explain to me.
I don't know, because you're just a lady that was in a coffee shop, you asshole.
This person she's just eating.
Your Piers is giving this person a vote. Like this person was nobody. She filmed Alec Baldwin. We all said, "Oh, what a fucking nut!" And then Piers is like, "Well, what are your thoughts on the war?"
We should delve into this.
Let's get serious for a moment.
You accost celebrities every month. Like just that's what he sounds like, mad.
Because you're making it all about you and your silly pranks.
Oh,
And you're trying to have fun. And actually, behind all this is a very serious war going on.
Hey, dickhead! How about having like Harvey Levin on and asking him that instead of this lady? How about having Harvey Levin on and saying, "Hey, do you really need to run up to fucking Kesha outside of a Starbucks and harass her?"
Yeah, he's just go. You know, you have a song that's starts off with positive lyrics towards P. Diddy that you wrote 2 decades ago.
Yeah, how about we talk to people that are actually doing this instead of Crackhead Barney? You fucking dick.
Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy.
Continue, Piers.
Man, I'm always serious. I'm always serious. You're hurting me right now, Piers.
All right.
What?
I've started to think you're not taking this seriously.
How can he take himself serious?
Well, that's the thing. Is it funny to watch for a few minutes? Sure. Should Piers Morgan be disgusted with himself for putting this on his show? Like, do one or the other. Do a show like this where you're just a silly goofball, or do a news show. Don't try and mix the two worlds. You know.
Yeah. Now, this is the last clip we have.
I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to picture like Walter Cronkite being like, "So you bill yourself as Crackhead Barney."
I want to see like,
what do you think about this Vietnam?
like Bill O'Reilly. I would love to see interview Crackhead Barney.
I could see that actually.
Or Tucker being like, "Yeah, is that right?"
Well, Tucker would have fun with it though.
Yeah, he would.
That's the thing. Bill O'Reilly, I could see being like Crackhead. Now I see the frustration Piers was having.
Just shut your mouth, will you? Just for 5 seconds. Start screaming. This is the last one. It's just labeled pathetic.
It's just like Piers is calling her pathetic, which is the craziest thing ever. Watch this.
I think you know what I think. I think you're frankly. I think honestly, Crackhead, you are honestly pathetic. This is one of the most pathetic things I've ever had to endure in the long, illustrious history of Uncensored.
Black woman a crackhead.
That's your name.
You're calling me.
That's your name.
Hold on, Piers. I gotta push back on you a little, buddy. I don't think it's her name.
Well, you didn't know that Stone Cold Steve Austin's first name was Stone Cold?
Yeah, I don't know if it's her name. Yeah, I understand. That's how she labeled her. Yes, you know what, Piers? You nailed her. That is how she labeled herself. And then when she said, "Hey, you're calling a black woman a crackhead," I suspect, Piers, and I don't know. It seems like maybe you picked up on this too. I think she was being ridiculous. Boy, you've really nailed this one, Piers.
I want Pierce to meet The Rock and just call him the.
I don't think any of this wrestling is real, quite frankly.
Hey,
this is like, you know what this is? This is having Vince McMahon on now and holding his feet to the fire about wrestling being fake. So yeah, there's a bigger issue here, Piers.
No, you said that Cody Rhodes won the title, but you decided that before the match.
I think there were many wrestlers better than The Undertaker, quite frankly.
But boy, was he scary.
You really pinpointed the central issue of this, Piers. You've nailed something that no one else picked up on. I think this lady might be a little fucking nuts. You home run, Piers.
You call yourself Crackhead.
Bitch than Megan? Piers, am I a bigger bitch than Meghan
Are you
Markle?
going
Please,
to
I want
give you a final
That's a
chance.
very funny question. Am I a bigger
great.
bitch than Meghan Markle?
Well, that's how you know she's acting. The fact that she
Yeah.
knows that reference with him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
bitch than Meghan
Are
Markle.
you going to I'm going to give you a final chance. Are you going to actually answer the question of why you did what you did to Adam Baldwin?
No, Piers, I have a question. Am I a bigger bitch than Meghan Markle? Because Buckingham Palace was complaining about the black girl, and I want to be that black girl.
Okay.
I want to be that black girl.
You know what, Crackhead? I
I
tried to give you a hearing. You're not going to take it seriously.
Crackhead's not taking it seriously.
You may want to shout. Yeah, you may
All
want
right, Crackhead, if you don't calm down, we're going to move on to Eddie Murphy as Gumble to weigh in on Trump stealing the election. I said Gumble. I meant Gumby. Fuck. Could have been funny.
We'll remember that one forever.
Thank you.
All right. I think we've heard enough of Crackhead, to be honest with you. All right, let's bring in my...
Let's bring in my panel.
No, let's bring in my esteemed guests. What an embarrassment, Piers. What are you doing? You know what? I think I'm on to you. Just the last guy at the fucking party by a mile.
Brings on the fucking panel. He's like, guys, sorry. Turns out that was just a bit.
Like if I came on today and was like, guys, holy shit. Andrew Dice Clay's real name is Andrew Silverstein. What? I don't think that's really him.
Fuck.
I think he's playing a fucking character.
That's crazy.
I don't think he ever got his prick sucked at the bank.
I got my tongue in this chick's ass. Fake.
What an asshole Piers is. Oh, that's very fun. I hope Piers just does this for every clearly joke viral video.
Yeah.
Piers just has them on to hammer it out. And now, Charlie, I understand your finger was bitten.
Now, Miss Grape, you did fall from the barrel, correct?
You've reported something called chocolate rain. When I haven't seen any precipitation, I live in your general area.
Rain does not fall from the sky. I mean, chocolate.
Piers. Yeah, we're both fucking up today. It's the spirit that counts. It's the attitude that we present.
It's us trying to squeeze in before 12:20.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we're rushed.
Yes, that's why.
What time is it? Good point.
12:05-ish.
I do like the idea of Piers just uncovering every going through Tosh.0 and treating all the web redemptions as like real guys.
It's like, that Tosh guy didn't give you a fair shake. He was making fun of you the whole time.
I would submit he was joking during a lot of that. All right, so we got time for at least a little GD, right?
We sure can.
So, I said that Adam McGowan, we got two Adams now. Two Adam Schefters, if you think about it. We got Adam McGowan, I said was our G.D. Fenderson beat guy. But I forgot the original beat guy was Adam Thoreau. He showed me G.D. Fenderson. And this prick, if you want to blame someone, blame Adam Thoreau for this. This son of a bitch was like, Mike, you need to listen to the latest... What is this called? Oh, well, we'll find out in the first clip, right?
Yeah, I'll let him tell.
Well, GD Fenderson has new joke technology, and he's going to tell us about it here. But we're going to get to, so we're going to hear the intro, but we're also going to get to the first joke that is so baffling to me. And Adam Thoreau had the same thought. He's like, this is, you just got to cover this. I don't understand it. I can't figure out which makes more sense. Piers Morgan treating that woman like a human being. Like a real person.
Real quick, Vlad the Dragon, $5. Fun show, boys. You actually have content and prep. I'm not used to it.
Oh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
And M. Rocky, $2. This show is almost funny. Keep up the good work.
You know what? Today I can't argue. We had a couple fun. That's exactly what we were in the last segment.
Rushed. That's what it was.
Yeah, almost funny.
We just missed.
Yeah.
But here's the first clip from GD here.
Okay.
Hello, welcome to Critical Joke Theory with your host, GD Fenderson, certified forensic humorist. Now with new joke technology. Hi, I'm GD Fenderson, certified forensic humorist at large, but I'm losing weight.
Can I give a note to my pal GD?
Sure, please.
It seems like you're in a room alone doing this. Take as many takes as you need. You don't need to rush through, slur your intro.
This unlimited time.
Yeah, no one is on the edge of their seat for this. Take all the time you need, buddy. You know, there's no deadline. You finish the certified for this human large.
Oh, and Hackride's in the chat. He's here. Just remember, everybody remember Gearbox tonight at 9 after every show.
Oh yeah, HackrideTheDemon.com. Go support the boy.
See what he thinks of the show.
Yes.
Back to our good pal GD.
53. Now with new joke technology and open caption for the humor impaired. Larry Dalrymple has died. Larry was best known for his staggering 35 seasons on The Simpsons as the sad, balding drunk who hung out at Moe's. Dalrymple was a long-running fixture of the bar's dank milieu. Springfield barkeep Mo Sizliak confirmed his death on Sunday, saying,
Hold on. I wanted to let this play. Go back to the beginning, please, if you would, because I wanted to let this thing play through. Mo Sizliak. Again, GD, you don't have to rush this. It's Mo Sizliak.
The only thing he took his time on was the word confirmed.
But listen to this. So I guess the guy that voices Barney died. Is that right?
No, it wasn't even Barney. It was another drunk in the room.
Oh. Because I was going to say, why doesn't he say the character's name?
He did. It was one that no one knows.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, we got to hear it again, I guess.
Hello, welcome.
This is his first topic, by the way.
With your host, GD Fenderson,
right off the rip.
Certified forensic humorist. Now with new joke technology. Hi, I'm GD Fenderson, certified forensic humorist at large, but I'm losing weight. Welcome to Critical Joke Theory, episode 53. Now with new joke technology and open caption for the humor impaired. Larry Dalrymple has died. Larry was best known for his staggering 35 seasons on The Simpsons as the sad, balding drunk who hung out at Moe's. Dalrymple was a long-running fixture of the bar.
He wasn't. He didn't see. I would have assumed Barney. I guess Barney's not balding, right?
The picture of the character is on the screen, and I don't recognize it. I'm not the biggest Simpsons fan, but I do know Barney.
Okay, so this is front page news for GD. This is an opener.
Yes.
Okay, guys, you know how we're all still watching The Simpsons?
Confirmed.
Yes. Religiously, actually.
Yeah. Go back just a little bit.
I'll go back a smidge here.
Fixture of the bar's dank milieu. Springfield barkeep Mo Sizliak confirmed his death on Sunday, saying, "No cause of death was given. Funeral plans have yet to be revealed. However, it's known that years of alcohol consumption has made embalming unnecessary. He was 42.
I gotta say, sometimes when you have an impression, you gotta use it. You know, sometimes it's maybe you have to shoehorn it in, but when you do a dead-on Mo Sizliak like that,
Sizliak. Don't forget.
Imagine seeing that an obscure Simpsons voice guy died, and thinking, I have to write a Mo Sizliak joke.
You got to.
And this is my impression.
Survived by
See that again.
Okay.
Alcohol consumption has made embalming unnecessary. He was 42. Larry Dalrymple is survived by his uncle and drinking mentor, Rudy Giuliani, who got him his first fake ID.
Now, you're the political guy here.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck does that mean?
No idea.
Does Rudy Giuliani have a history of like underage stuff?
If he's referring to Borat, maybe?
That can't be it. This is what happens with G.D. Fenderson. He has such a puzzling punchline that we have to sit here. There's no way I make my appointment. We'll be here all day.
He answered one recently, though, didn't he?
Oh, he did, right?
Shit. Fuck. Let me see if I can find that.
Well, not today. We'll address that another day. I don't have time here.
That was a big one, too. We spent like 12 minutes trying to figure that joke out that day.
Yes, 6 down.
Yes. The crossword puzzle.
Well, this is another one. Why? Now, let's put our heads together here. A couple of smart guys.
Mm-hmm.
Why would Rudy Giuliani get this Simpsons character his first fake ID? And more importantly, why is that funny?
I don't know. I have no fucking idea.
Now, here's what I'll grant you. The most Sislak impression was so good that he had to do it.
Yep.
Like, that's not even questionable. That's just like, whoa, am I listening to Hank Azaria? That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
What? God forbid something happens to Hank Azaria. The Simpsons will carry on forever with G.D. Fenderson.
Or Joe in the chat wants us to replay it.
Well, if Joe wants it, then we've got to, all right, wind it back.
All right.
We got maybe Joe will have some insight here.
I gotta pull. I already got rid of the clip, but we have to play it again.
We got to play it. We got no choice. And I would advise not getting rid of it because this might be the next 20 minutes.
You're not wrong there.
We got to skip the intro though. I can't hear about new joke technology again. I'll blow my fucking brains out.
Okay. Here we go. I got it.
Okay.
Great. Welcome to Critical Joke Theory, episode 53. Now with new joke technology and open captions for the humor impaired.
I skipped the first
Larry
intro, not the
Dalrymple
second.
has died. Larry was best known for his staggering 35 seasons on The Simpsons as the sad, balding drunk who hung out at Moe's. Dalrymple was a long-running fixture of the bar's dank milieu. Springfield barkeep Mo Sislak confirmed his death on Sunday, saying, "No cause of death was given. Funeral plans have yet to be revealed. However, it's known that years of alcohol
Mo, is that you?
has made embalming
His Mo impression is just.
Oh, I want to hear Mo talk. That's cool. How'd they get him?
given. Funeral plans have yet to be revealed. However, it's known that years of alcohol consumption has made embalming unnecessary.
Hold on, let me give one bit of feedback. As far as the joke, no notes. I think it's perfect to do a most Sislak voice that is spot on and give a real statement that you would give if someone died. Just like, yeah, his liver was shot. I mean, so many years of drinking. First of all, this is a shot at a Simpsons character that's a drunk.
Yep.
Imagine if we had the roast for Homer. he's dumb. Oh shit! Who is he burning here?
I have no idea.
All right, so yeah, the most Sislak impression. I have no notes. What I'm hung up on is the Rudy Giuliani thing that we got to hear again. And Joe, I'm sorry that we didn't get through this. We'll play it again and try to get through the whole thing.
Do you think we have time? Remember, time crunch today.
I don't know if we have time. I'll tell you what we don't have, and that's a choice.
That's true.
Larry Dalrymple is survived by his uncle and drinking mentor, Rudy Giuliani, who got him his first fake ID.
Now I'm starting to think he just thinks Rudy Giuliani's a drunk.
Can I tell you something? Play it again because I forgot it even happened.
from the beginning?
I looked at my phone and I forgot he was speaking. That's how little of an impact he has on me.
Yeah.
Go back. I want to hear at least the Rudy Giuliani part again, and then we'll see if we need further examination.
Embalming unnecessary. He was 42.
Hey, I'm Mo Sidlak. You know me, I'm Springfield's barkeeper.
He doesn't have to be embalmed. He drank enough. That was the joke.
Mo Sidliak. Why not? If first of all, if you're not a Simpsons fan, why write the joke? And if you're gonna write the joke, maybe figure out how to pronounce his name, you know?
Mike Hawk with a great comment. Unfortunately, it means we're going to have to listen again. He
Oh,
goes-
fuck. All right. Well, we have no choice.
He says his first fake ID.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting. That adds a layer to this that I hadn't thought of. Very good, Mike Hawk.
A Dalrymple is survived by his uncle and drinking mentor, Rudy Giuliani, who got him his first fake ID.
Yeah, his first. That's interesting.
I think up until this last part, we're on the same page. Great Mo
Do we-
impression.
Why is it his uncle?
I don't
Larry
know.
Dalrymple. What association does he have with Rudy Giuliani? Now, you guys in the chat might think, Mike, this is just a ham-handed way to segue politics into the discussion. I say there's no way that's true. I say GD wouldn't cheat us like that.
Larry Dalrymple is survived by his uncle and drinking mentor, Rudy Giuliani, who got him his first fake ID.
Drinking mentor. I'm paying attention to every word of this. Drinking mentor. Is Rudy Giuliani known as a drunk?
See, I almost thought he was known as he didn't drink at all. Am I
That's
wrong?
what I would have guessed. He's like a hard like he cleaned up New York City is what he's probably most politically what he's most known for, right?
For sure.
So kind of a hard ass. It seems like the opposite. Is he a booze bag?
I'm gonna find out right now. Does Rudy
Yeah.
Giuliani drink?
Good idea.
I like scotch, he told NBC New York.
Oh, okay. All right. When was this? What's the date on that?
2021.
My God.
I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a functioning. I probably function more effectively than 90% of the population.
Sure, that's what he says, but not according to our guy GD. Attaway, GD, you've exposed something.
Wow.
This guy's a drunk, and he's teaching his nephew how to drink. You know, the guy that was older than him.
By his uncle and drinking mentor, Rudy Giuliani, who got him his first fake ID.
Yeah, first fake ID. Do you think first comes into play?
Maybe this guy, the guy that died, big drinking problem at the age of 14, and he just kept getting them.
And again, if you're a little confused at home, by the guy that died, we mean the Simpsons character.
Who got written off the show.
Because the man, to our knowledge, is not a drunk. I didn't think of that aspect till just now. As far as we know, Larry Dalrymple is not a drunk. Right? Do we have any proof that he is?
He was in the bar a lot.
No, he wasn't. The character he played was.
Oh.
The cartoon character.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, no, you're misunderstanding, Craig. The cartoon character did not die.
I thought Larry Dalrymple was the character's name.
No. Oh, wait, maybe. Hold on.
Fuck, we're going to the top.
We got to go back to the beginning. Fuck. Can I pause for a second? Adam Thoreau gets me, obviously. Because all he said, I gave you a couple others. Adam Thoreau just said, you're going to want to take a look at the first joke. And boy, he knows me better than I know myself. I was like, we'll spend 2 minutes on this.
I didn't realize the layers to this.
Oh, I said we need backup clips in case we don't spend enough time on GD. Now I'm worried. We're almost sounding the boogie alarm here.
Boogie alarm's going off in a second.
Oh, man. All right. Well, let's see if we can get through this clip before the boogie alarm goes off.
Larry Dalrymple has died. Larry was best known for his staggering 35 seasons on The Simpsons as the sad, balding drunk.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Okay. Wait, that still doesn't tell.
So he was just the sad balding drunk in the corner of the bar. That's the character's name. Like Hot Girl 1 or something in the credits.
No. Look this up.
Okay.
This is Googleable.
Googling.
Larry Dalrymple.
That's true. How do you fucking spell that? Larry.
Oh, that's a Seinfeld bit, actually. Dowrimple. And he goes, not even close.
Dalrymple.
Russell Dalrymple.
The Simpsons producer apologizes for surprise death.
Oh, the character died. Oh, that's very interesting.
Larry Dalrymple was not mentioned very much on The Simpsons, but he was a longtime patron of Moe's Tavern. Yeah, it is the character.
Oh, well, that adds an interesting wrinkle into this. Well, now, hold on. Now GD is fucking with Simpsons lore.
Yeah, because
Has Rudy Giuliani... Okay, has Rudy Giuliani ever been on the show? He may have made a Simpsons appearance. Very possible. In the early 2000s?
He might have.
Very possible. Let's see that. We're going to get to the bottom of this, folks. We only have 10 minutes, but...
35 years, he says.
It's Boogie.
Oh, no.
Boogie. It's Boogie.
All right, we better find this out quick.
It's Boogie.
All right, Boogie.
I was focused on the time.
I'm pressing snooze. All right, we got a few minutes. We can suss this out in the next few minutes here.
All right, what do you need me to look up? Larry Dalrymple.
No. See if Rudy Giuliani was ever on The Simpsons.
Oh, he definitely was.
But was it as Larry Dalrymple's uncle?
Simpsons.
Maybe he knows more Simpsons than we're giving him credit for.
TV
I'd hate to hit another dead end here.
The Simpsons. Stop or My Dog Will Shoot. In 2007, Rudy Giuliani played himself.
Okay. Do we have any more, though? Is he linked to Larry Dalrymple at all? Okay, search.
Rudy Giuliani, Larry Dalrymple.
Yes.
Larry.
I'm sure we're going to get some fucking guy he arrested with the RICO Act in 1998.
Yeah, some mobster. He was killed on Sunday's episode. Oh, maybe Giuliani killed him. Larry Dalrymple was one of several barflies who frequented Moe's Tavern, dropped dead on his bar stool during the April 21st episode called Cremains of the Day.
It's crazy they're still doing episodes, huh? That's wild.
The rest of the show centered on Homer, Lenny.
That's like when you find out the Klan still exists. You're like, they're still doing that?
I don't get. So this popped up with Giuliani's. Wait, let me see if his name was in the.
This is tough.
Ken Jeong upset after Rudy Giuliani. Oh no, that's never mind.
It would have been great if Ken Jeong was furious about. He's like, that was Rudy Giuliani's nephew.
Remember when he walked off that show? Fucking
I do, yeah.
Terrible. All right, this has nothing to do with Rudy Giuliani.
Well, then we have no choice but to hear it again. How about this? One last time, and I'll leave you guys in a. This has to be the last time we.
It's Boogie.
I know, Boogie. This is the last time. We'll play it once through. I won't interrupt, and we'll see if it sparks anything. And then this could be to be continued. We can get back to this next week. How's that?
Sounds good. Uninterrupted.
By the way, with David Collins.
With David, did he respond?
No, I guess not, but he'll do it.
He'll say great broadcast in a few seconds when we're done.
David Collins will have the answer to this, but we're just going to, for shits and giggles, we'll play it once through.
Now-
I won't interrupt. We'll see if it jars anything loose.
Larry Dalrymple has died. Larry was best known for his staggering 35 seasons on The Simpsons as the sad, balding drunk who hung out at Moe's. Dalrymple was a long-running fixture of the bar's dank milieu. Springfield barkeep Mo Sislyak confirmed his death on Sunday, saying, "No cause of death was given. Funeral plans have yet to be revealed. However, it's known that
It's Boogie.
has made embalming unnecessary. He was 42. Les Dalrymple is survived by his uncle and drinking mentor, Rudy Giuliani, who got him his first fake ID.
Hey, it's Boogie. Hey, it's Boogie. Hey, it's Boogie. Hey, it's Boogie. Hey, it's Boogie.
All right. I know what time it is now. I got nothing. Did you pick up anything there?
No, I didn't.
It's tough. Does anyone in the chat know?
No. Oh, Hackamania. This I understand.
Okay.
Gifted 5 Blind Mike Project memberships.
Oh, he's been doing that. I think he was on WATS the other day too. Thank you, buddy. That's very kind of you.
What a great
Turn
gift.
on gifted memberships to accept those.
That's right. That's right.
Gobble them up.
Let me see what the chat's saying here.
Yeah, that doesn't help us though in this case.
Could it possibly be a comb over joke? Don't do this to me, Troy. What does that mean?
Troy.
You motherfucker.
I have to get out of here. I have things to do today.
You motherfucker.
All right. Well, how about this? We have no choice but to examine this and other jokes further next week when David Collins is in.
We have to.
Same time, same station. 10 a.m. live next week.
We have to play this clip for David Collins. Me and you just sit back and let him talk.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'll see what David Collins thinks. We'll get the real. And I know David Collins, he's going to do prep work. He's already going to have some theories, I think.
He's got research, a notebook.
Okay. All right. That sounds like a square deal. Yeah. Now, were you joking when you said Gearbox was back tonight?
Just he hasn't said anything since his first comment. So.
Well, either way, go to hackridethedemon.com and check out Hackride and all the great work that he does and support the man. If you're a Hackrider, support the man. Some new people might not know who Hackride is really. He's been on in a while.
That's true. That is true. But I have this thing that he put in the StreamYard that says Gearbox every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, he just put that in?
No, it's been in there.
Oh, okay. Well, then still we don't know. Much like GD Fenderson, we don't know the real answer here.
That's right.
Yeah, go support Hackride. Support Craig, verygoodShow.org.
David Collins says great broadcast. Like I said.
Thank you, buddy. Then I hope we'll see him next week. That's an invitation, David. Let me know. Message me and let me know if you're in.
I like how you have to fully be like, that's an invite.
And verygoodShow.org if you want to support the Craigster.
Yeah, do that.
And all of his wacky hijinks, all the hot political takes you heard today.
That's right.
And blindmike.net is where you can find this program, support the show. You can become a YouTube member, as our boy Hackamania just allowed people to do. You can become a YouTube member or a Patreon member, whichever platform is easier for you. Or if you just rather support the show for free, we appreciate that too. On all platforms, wherever you get podcasts, wherever you're listening to this right now, do all the things. Leave a 5-star review, like, comment, all that good stuff. And I meant to mention this earlier, but it shows you how hard I'm really trying. I want to get to 1,000 patrons soon on Patreon. And I'm trying so hard that I forgot until 2.5 hours in to say it. So, but I would like to get, we've been bumping our heads on like 9 something for a while.
Yeah.
So let's get to 1,000 for fuck's sake. And I appreciate you guys, all of you that are subscribed and will subscribe. I appreciate all of you. And we will talk to you guys next week.
And we have a meme transition.
Hey, it's Boogie.
Sappers clear the way. Everyone